Let's just check chat here.
It looks like finished up the John Lennon versus Alex McDougall game. Looks like it went to John 75 to 53, so 85-63 after paint. Really a good outing for the new guard.
Yeah. Two highly skilled players going into each other. I would have thought the GSE would have had the edge there because of the power of the new codex compared to the old codex.
Yeah.
If you just run at tanks. Yeah. Sunny Cal John on YouTube asked, what does forces mean? Forces means forces of the hive mind. So that means a combination of Tyranids and G0 Count.
Which
I just want to highlight one audience member, and Nargo Matthew has been because I've seen them both on YouTube and on Twitch chatting in both chats frequently. Every single time I poked my head into the Jared Hammer streams, they've been here. They're in for the long slog. So keep it up, Nargo Matthew, absolute champion.
You know what's crazy is he's in the Biff Pod Twitch. He is in the Biff Pod Charity Hammer. He's in the Frontline Gaming Network one, which is the aggregated chat that you got there. It just pops up everywhere. He's like, the little pile of Nurglings is actually 30 models on 140mm base. YouTube and Twitch is just Matthew's 40mm base.
Nice. So yeah, it looks like the Cow team that was hiding valiantly behind the rocks have popped up to deal with the couple of sisters that are on the objective to reclaim it for the Death Watch.
Beautiful.
Which will also give them shot tactics. Which is a nice little bonus. It's not much of a bonus, but it's nice.
It's something.
When repent you're kicking your teeth in. Lots of dice being rolled here, so this is probably some bolter fire coming from one of the kill teams. And that was not a save, or whatever it was.
Let me check something here real quick.
Yeah, it looks like it was a Deathwatch kill team shooting at the Mortifiers who are sitting out in the open. There's now one down to 4 runes remaining.
You would say it was after 10 a.m. Saturday, June 25th UK time, right?
It is definitely after that, yeah.
Beautiful. What's your take on the new Chaos Space Marine book?
I haven't read too much into it myself personally, because I'm not a Chaos player. I was more focusing on the Marine stuff that was coming out the last few days. What I do know is Abaddon is a beast. He is a beast and a half. I reckon every Chaos army under the sun is going to have an Abaddon in it, as long as the team setup does allow. They are also. I know the Mark system has changed and it's quite nice, and I know the Legion stuff is looking quite interesting. All the Legion traits.
Nice.
I have an Alpha Legion player who is begging for me to let him use the Codex in the RTT tomorrow. I said the book's not out yet.
we also have a player who's very excited wants to use it at our RTT tomorrow. But as I let the TO know, it sets a dangerous precedent when people who have access to the rules early get to do it before release. But Abaddon is a man. I've wanted to say this for a few weeks now, and now legally I'm allowed to. Abaddon will be in every single Chaos list for the next month for 300 points. He is insanely good value. He buffs all Chaos. To the point where I'm looking at a list which is just 11 War Dogs and Abaddon.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, you say I don't get to use the Chaos Knight Warlord traits or relics. So fine, it costs points anyway, or it costs CP anyway. So yeah, if you have a game coming up against Death Guard, there's probably going to be Abaddon there. Thousand Suns, probably going to see Abaddon. You want to make a quick buck on eBay so you can donate more to Charity Hammer. Buy an Abaddon, hold on to it for like a week and a half, and then sell it on eBay for a profit, as he will be out of stock pretty much everywhere pretty soon.
Yeah, he is disgusting.
The person running the stream had not hit submit, so that was the issue.
Beautiful.
No worries. We do have some points though to talk about, so let's run through that quickly. So yeah, Deathwatch are definitely suffering a little bit here. 11 points total, 8 on primary, 3 on secondary, and the sisters 29 total, 11 primary, 18 secondary. So it looks like the sisters are having a very good game so far.
Yeah, Fred can definitely pull some back from Assassinate. Definitely pull some back for Shock Tactics. Cripple Stronghold, I think, is what loses Fred this game. Actually, Table Boss, can we get confirmation about which objective is Fred's Stronghold?
And also which one is the shrine that the sisters have to defend? Because that's another stand.
I will get that real quick.
Yeah.
Perfect. Looks like we have a charge from the bigger kill team going into Anti-Val, so let's see if they can take her down, which would be a huge win for the Deathwatch at this stage.
Yeah,
as well as a lot of reroll efficiency gone. But she is not easy to kill.
No.
I think she lowers damage taken, and she has a good invulnerable save. I think it's like a 2-up, 4-up type deal. Let's pull up her data sheet here. Yeah, she halves the damage characteristic of the attack. So those heavy thunder hammers only damage 2 into her, and she's got 8 wounds,
which is not ideal. Usually you want to just pepper her with little small hits. Can't necessarily do that in this situation here, but Fred going hard into her to try and really get that out there. I'm going to rephrase that entirely.
Yeah, those Deathwatch really need to make sure that they get the kill into Anti-Val there.
Because she's no slouch either. She has her Lance of Illumination can do a sweeping blow, which doubles her attack, so she has 10 attacks. Going in, strength 5, so you're going to be wounding him on 3s. -2, single damage, but man, it's enough of a pain. Her lunging strike would probably even be better here. It's strength 8, -3, 3 flat damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, a wound roll of 6 is 1 mortal wound in addition, which can cause a lot of hurt to those guys and take care of some of those nastier parts of the kill team.
And because she has to be the warlord, she gets her warlord trait, which basically turns her into Drazar. She can reroll all of her hits and all of her wounds in melee.
If he paid for the warlord trait.
So you guys saw the objective that we pointed to a little bit earlier?
Oh, no. We weren't paying attention.
I was not looking at that. I was waiting for Valsday.
This is the kind of hosting we expect at 2:30 in the morning.
Heck yeah.
I mean that in the best way possible. I do believe it is all on the so it is the bottom right hand is both.
Bottom right,
yeah. That's what we called.
Yeah.
So Jesse's going to continue to score that, and it's going to be pretty hard for Fred to get there. To get there, he's going to have to chew through some Paragon Warsuits and Morgenthau.
Going to have to strangle them.
Strangle them. Please do not ever change that. For now on, it is Stranglehold. I'm kind of sad that's gone away as a secondary because I wish I could Stranglehold the board.
It looks like Marvin Val has survived. There's a damage dice going down next to her.
Mm-hmm. Took a couple wounds.
Yeah. I only call her Anti-Val because that's what my friend calls her whenever he plays sisters.
No, brother,
which just makes it a lot nicer. Just the sisters taking out like a nice day out on the town with Anti-Val.
I think we all have an Anti-Val.
Yes, we all have that Ant who's in the mech suit and with the giant spear. Yeah. Some more attack dice being rolled for the Deathwatch here. 5s to wound there though, so that might do something to someone. This may still be on anti-val, and I think I see 2 wounds remaining. So this could be some. This may be the Terminator's Thunderclaws going.
Oh, there's not a great dice rolls.
No, but it should only be AP3, so yeah, those 3s would still fail if they're in the Zell Doctrine. Is that Val dead? That is Val gone.
Oof. Some good swings there from that kill team.
Yep. That kill team now has the big challenge of surviving against the Nundam.
If it does, it opens the option to go to the stronghold in that bottom corner and start denying the sacred grounds.
Oh yeah, which will be a huge swing in this game. Let's just look up the Paragon Warsuits. What are they? They got the Warblades, I believe.
Yep.
So each model will, so that unit, so 3 of them will have 4, 8, 13 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s at AP3 and damage 2. It's kind of the perfect Marine killer there. Of course, becoming AP2 with Armor of Contempt, so saving on 5s for that Deathwatch kill team.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, they're also rocking some multi-melters, so that's 6 melter shots coming at them beforehand, as well as the. I think they have like a little grenade launcher as well, as a little sidearm.
Here's a fun question coming in from chat. Here's as combat's resolving. Are any of the commentators getting into Horus Heresy or the Horus Heresy? If so, what Legion have you all picked? Chris, you're a 30k person?
I am not a 30k person currently. That's because I've recently got into Star Wars Legion, and I don't want to have another hobby. Two tabletop hobbies
can't afford. He cannot afford to have another hobby. I'm not making any comment on his income. I'm just saying, his life cannot afford that third hobby's impact on the social, everything. You just don't have the time. Not possible.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm a student. I'm a PhD student.
Okay.
I did not.
Then he cannot afford.
I cannot afford
every sense of the word.
Whereas I have around 4,000 points of painted Imperial fists.
Awesome.
But I am an undergraduate student at an old age with a job and a family, so I can't afford the time to play 30k. But I will always remember the wonderful memories of just dumping deep striking Imperial fists onto the table, blinding people with a brilliance, and then just boltering them to death. Great game system, apart from invisibility, which can, we can drop one of them. You can get fucked. No invisibility.
I have no intention of playing it, but I plan on buying a really pretty World Eaters army when eventually people get bored and sell theirs off.
Oh yeah, in about 6 months there'll be some great deals.
Yeah, I will have a 30k army, but it'll just look at and be like, oh man, that is just the best classic paint scheme.
I will if I was to get into it, I would go to my Blood Angels because I've already got that deep collection of them. My paint scheme is not orthodox Blood Angels though; it's a custom color scheme. So hopefully people won't mind that too much. When I use my Sacred card that are painted black.
Oh man!
The 30k community famously tolerant.
You will receive so many strongly worded letters.
That's fine. They don't know my address.
Oh no, they'll be hand delivered, and then they will be recited to you. But you will receive them.
But they look cool. Their wings are red, and they got black armor. They look like Death Company.
Well, sir, that didn't exist then.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Exactly. There's nothing to be confused with.
Yeah.
But no, purely because it's the only way I'll ever get to play with Sanguinius is if I go into the Heresy.
Wait, if they're all Death Company, technically aren't they all Sanguinius? Where they're like, hey, that guy kind of looks like Horus. That's the meme, right? That Land Raider that looks like Horus is over there.
Oh, you just imagine like this horrible rap job done on the tank with Horus's grinning face.
Guys, there's some really talented artists out there, and I really want to see now a Land Raider that has a rap that's just Horus's face.
There you go, painting challenge for someone.
Painting
Paint a
challenge.
Land Raider to look like Horse's head.
I will pay you $5 Canadian for that paint job.
I will pay you in potato scones.
Oh, damn, that's actually pretty tempting. Those are good.
I'm not saying how much potato scones you're going to get. You might get one. You might get 10.
Say one thing I miss the most is Greg's.
Greg's?
I wasn't there for the Nando's time, but the Greg's. God, I miss Greg's. It's fine. It's fine. I would be 800 pounds if I did.
No comment. But yeah, no. We're definitely spoiled for lovely baked goods and peri peri chicken options in the UK.
Just a good Indian place, man.
Oh yeah,
the things you don't think about, but yeah, bereft of any kind of good Indian place over here.
So here in town, a student from years and years ago realized that there's no like cheap Indian for the students to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So they set one up after they left university, and they have a student deal where you get like a starter, a main, a naan bread, rice, and poppadom for like £8, which is insane. That's like the price of like a main dish somewhere.
Yeah,
and you get so much food. It's like I cannot finish the amount of food you get for like about £10, and it's everyone goes to that one place to get their Indian takeout, and it's good stuff. It's good quality stuff too. So it looks like the combats have finished up for the Death Watch here. Although I mean, maybe into the sisters' turn, as I do see on the bottom left objective some sisters appearing, standing there menacingly.
Like, girl,
we are in Jesse's turn 3 movement phase now. And the sisters are meeting the Death Watch push with full force.
As they sort of have to react that way with the aggressive movement from Fred here. Like, Jesse's built himself up a nice kind of a point cushion, or a point pillow even, but he has to react, otherwise those Thunderhammer Deathwatch have the ability to just overrun him.
Yeah. Whilst Jesse does his movement phase here, we do have an interesting question from chat, John, so let you answer this. Sunny Cal John on YouTube asks, if I'm interested in my first ever 40k tournament, what type of tournament would be a good place to start? Bay Area Open, Las Vegas Open, Adepticon, or are those going to crush my will entirely?
You know, the big events. So, like, I rag on Adepticon a lot as kind of more of a casual event. But I will say there's a couple things. Bay Area Open is pretty good. SoCal, which is in Southern California, is a really great event. It's in this giant, what can be described as an aircraft hangar. But it's also right next to a fairground. So even if you get like the rope round 1 and you just you pound it in, go ride a Ferris wheel, go ride a roller coaster, calm down, go back for round 2. It's a great way to go. I will say though, the pure spectacle of the Las Vegas Open is something that can only be seen to be believed. The hall is ginormous. We're at our new home of the Rio, which is one of the casinos off Strip in Vegas, but the hall is huge. There's giant screen showing the top tables games being streamed. Even if you take a weird Black Templar meme list like I did and end up on the bottom tables, I did not have a single bad game because you're all there to have fun. If you don't want to play in the 40k championships, there's other events too. There's a friendly. There's the Long War Devils team tournament, which is always a whole bunch of fun. There's usually Games Workshop previews. Duncan's going to be there this year. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. You really can't go wrong with any of those. They all serve a whole bunch of purposes. And really, if you have a bad time, it's time we start calling people out for being dicks at tournaments. I mean, Chris, I know this is a hot take. I think we've shielded assholes too long. It's time for a more inclusive Warhammer environment all around.
I couldn't agree more with that sentiment. I've had my fair share of uncomfortable situations with players who are at the top of their game and at the bottom. It can happen to anyone, no matter how experienced that person may be. So what you need to do, something Cal John, honestly, is go with some friends. no matter which tournament you go to. Personally, I always recommend RTTs as your first couple of events because they're much more chill, much more relaxed type environments. But like I've been to LGT here in the UK, which is which this year is going to be over 1,000 people, hopefully. Again, you're going to have enough refs there who are like paid to be there by the TO, so that any rules questions, any issues you may have, call a ref over. So you'll be fine. It's not going to crush your will entirely. But personally, I would start small and work your way up. My first event was like a 40-man GT, but I went with like 6 friends, and we had a great weekend out. And I knew if I had any issues, they had my back.
Yeah.
There's also something to be said for the endurance factor that you have to build up to be able to play like 5 games of 40K in a weekend that are actually challenging. That's not something you can just automatically do.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I will say the most important thing to do that a lot of new players don't do, go with realistic expectations.
Yeah.
So even if you're going to your first 8-man tournament, which is like a little RTT, probably not going to win the whole thing, and that's okay. Go with the goal of just meeting a bunch of cool people and being able to get 3 games of 40K in one day. He's asking, is there a website to look for local GT or RTTs? I know for Frontline Gaming event, frontlinegaming.org. Got to push that. That has all of the GT Plus events in there. You can also look in Best Coast Pairings, which is a pairing app that a lot of the major tournaments do. You can search your local events, but really the best thing you can do, go to your friendly local hobby store, introduce yourself, ask when their events are being run. I almost guarantee a store in your area is going to be running what we call like a little RTT 8-16-man 3-round tournament. Chris going to one tomorrow in his hometown.
I am running one tomorrow.
You're running one tomorrow in his hometown?
Yeah, I am a TO nowadays as well. So I run a monthly RTT and I run 3 GTs and 1 team event every year, and they're dead easy to run. Yep.
I'm going to an RTT tomorrow just at the local store. And if there isn't one in your area, buddy, just run them. And if you want
the
them...
The app does everything. BCP does everything for you. Seriously.
BCP does everything for you, and now the GW is helping out with the international tournament circuit. It's really easy to get your event ranked, to get people along and play for something. So check out your local store or run your own. We all start somewhere.
And have fun. Just have fun.
Yeah. That's the important thing. Moving games. We're playing.
Yes, the sisters have moved on up, and I see the mortifiers and non-damage suits moving up to threaten the top left objective, whilst some Repentia, that looks like the 9-person Repentia have moved in to take out the unit in the center of the field.
Looks like we have some positioning by the Rhino there to try and protect the non-damage suits a little bit from the punchy kill team that took out Morgan Val.
I would be surprised if that kill team is still alive with after the Repentia charge in.
Because the Repentia on the edge of that objective there. Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. I don't see any Miracle Dice for the sisters, actually, right now.
They used all their ones.
They used all their ones. I don't know what they used them all on, but they were used somewhere. It's looking like it's cleanup time. I think the bike chaplain has just died to multi-multi shots from the Paragon warsuits, because I no longer see that model on the table.
Nope. That'll do it. Those warsuits will do there. Can all be Black Templars, only taking 1 damage per gun.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see only the kill team, the 5-person kill team in the bottom left corner alive at the end of this turn.
Yeah.
It depends if the Paragon can make the slightly longer charge into the unit that is at the top of that ruin in the left-hand side center.
But just really solid game by Jesse. Not drawn out to being too aggressive. I think Fred was a little cagey, almost in a way to draw Jesse out, to fill in some of those objectives. Again, I think one of the reasons he wanted to go second was to kind of react, but Jesse kind of just played his calm little game. Really stronghold it up in the bottom corner to gain his to defend his shrine, but also to deny Fred. And I think Fred could have made a better game of this, but again, the cripple stronghold was just again, these are practice games where we're trying out things to see what works. I don't think cripple stronghold is something Fred's going to play again for a while.
No, and definitely not in this mission.
Yeah.
So we have 10 minutes left before new games are up, so I'm going to go them an update. You guys can keep on chatting.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I think as we're wrapping this game up here with Jesse's turn 3, a little longer than obviously the very practiced Len and McDougal pairing going through. What are your kind of roundup thoughts on these two games that we saw?
The Imperial Guard winning to the degree in which they did surprised me, to be honest. Imperial Guard for the longest time have been kind of like the meme army of Fortigate, and it's good to see them starting to come out of that factor. And kind of stepping over the bodies of Chaos Demon players on the way. So that was nice to see. I thought Don did play it very well, where he made sure that not too many of his tanks were getting tagged up in combat all the time. But for a while there, we thought he was having to make a fighting retreat.
Yeah,
and might have been out of the game, but the points don't lie, and it was a decent sized win. It's about a 30-point victory, 40-point victory.
Yeah, and instead of just doing that, he was just shoring up his what he needed to do, right?
Exactly. It just shows you the power of those new guard secondaries. Whereas this game here, we're kind of watching the twilight phases of this game being performed. That the Paragon Warsuits did make it into that kill team unit there. This to me was an education in playing around threat ranges. I think Jesse did it very well, where he took I said about charges. He sent in Celatine confident of her ability to live through the punishment that the Deathwatch can do, and also take out some Deathwatch Marines by herself. And then just clogged up the middle of the field with some very durable units, and it worked.
Yeah, absolutely. What could Fred be doing differently next time? Like if this game was to restart click style, what can Fred do differently to have more of a game into this Sisters Army?
First of all, click, that's a reference I've not heard in a while.
It's a very old Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, as we watch the Deathwatch unit being picked up here by Fred. Oh no, wait, there's 2 left. Oh, maybe not. So I think Fred should have. So last time I played this mission, I played it into Blood Angels into like Harlequins. I just said, what if I just stood in the middle of the table against you? What if I just see where that river of lava is? What if I put my entire army there? What can you do? And it's like Harlequins; they can shoot, they can punch pretty damn well. I lost some Zion Regard, and then I was able to attack them with all my units in the following turn. It was great. Yeah. Maybe Fred could do that, but there is the risk where Jesse goes, great, here's some Repentia, here's some Zephyr, here's Paragons, here's Mortifiers, here's Celatine, and here's Anti-Val. That's 6 combat units going into your stuff. And with Miracle Dice, those charges may not look all that improbable.
Yeah, for sure. And I think really letting Jesse dictate where the battle was taking place through Cripple Stronghold really kind of hurt Fred, because that played into Jesse taking Defend the Shrine. He's like, okay, well, I have to stop you from getting here, so I might as well get some points from it. And being able to choose objectives so far away in mission like the Scouring really hurt.
Maybe Fred, so Cripple Stronghold is a Shadow Actions secondary. Mm-hmm. Maybe they could have. Oh, there's a handshake there. We get the final points for you in a brief second. Maybe Fred could have gone for Raise of Banners High and just paid to hold on those 2, the 2 further back objectives
right
instead, and just keep trading into the middle every turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely some things you do. Again, this is why you play. The best thing you do is play as many practice games as possible with your list to get it mastered. Fred, an amazing Death Watch player, still trying to get the hang of this brand new Nephilim packet, which isn't actually out in the United States until today, 8 hours from now, or whenever game stores open in the US. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. I drove up to Dundee to my local game store, about half an hour away from me, to go and pick up my copy. Last night, I kindly asked the owner, "Hey, I'm accommodating. Can I get the copy early to look up stuff?"
Like,
and
hello,
he
sir.
He obliged.
You're like, I run events and bring business to your store. Can I have a copy 11 hours early? Thank you.
He was more than fine with it. Yeah. One of the biggest upsets I can get into any hobby is be friends with your friendly local game store.
Yeah,
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, for sure. And again, any event is a great event to go to for your first event if you go with friends and the right attitude. And heck, even just go with the right attitude. I met my co-host Danny at a local event. I went to with one other person. So just get out there, play the games. This is a great 2-player game. We're all here to have fun, and specifically, I'll do one final plug here. Guys, we're here at Charity Hammer to promote Child's Play, which is an amazing charity across the world. They have 180 different partner hospitals where they work to get sick kids some entertainment for some of the hardest times. It was started in 2003. And now they've expanded to include 200 domestic violence shelters across the United States. Again, just helping kids in some of the worst times of their lives have a little bit of light. Every single penny you donate to Charity Hammer goes straight to Child's Play. It really is an amazing cause. At this point, $11,000 so far you guys have donated, which we really, really appreciate. Every $30 you donate goes into a raffle to win one of a lot of prizes, dozens, hundreds probably, of great raffle prizes as a thank you for supporting Charity Hammer. Charity Hammer 4 here. This event has raised over $100,000 now for Child's Play, thanks to all of your guys' support. We couldn't do it without you.
Yes, if you haven't done so, please do donate and do so as much as you can. And if you can't, if you already have, just share the stream, shout about it, signal boost in whatever way you can. Get more eyes on this amazing charitable venture.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, excited for your RTT tomorrow. Who do you think's going to take it?
Well, there's a certain Scotsman who we were talking about earlier on who has a nice T-shirt named after him, who is coming with some Tyranids. So that's going to probably take it.
Always good when the 4th best player in the world goes to your local RTT with one of the best armies in the game.
Honestly, it is, because you will learn so much.
Yeah.
Seriously. You only learn and get better by playing better people who are better than you. And what better than learn from the current number 4th in route.
Probably the number 3 or the number 2. Possibly the number 1. But yeah, absolutely. When you raise the caliber of your opponent, you raise the caliber of your game. You're not going to learn anything just beating your friend in the garage or even a Warhammer.
Yeah. The first game I played in Scotland, so I was living in England previously, and that's when I got back into 40k, was against Innis at our local club. And we were playing open war because I didn't know anything else. And I got through my movement phase and my psychic phase before he stopped me and said, "Can I teach you how to charge?" And that honestly changed everything for me, seeing how much jank you can do in the charge phase. And cut to, what is it now, 3 years later, I'm now part of Team Scotland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just by hanging out with Innis. And
you guys, just while we're waiting for the stream to reset here, excited for WTC to be back?
Oh yeah, this is going to be my first year. I am the hype. I am the hype incarnate for WTC. We have a very tough pod going in as Team Scotland. We've got Norway, Germany, and Spain, who are 3 amazing teams. So we're going to have to play our Scottish hearts out. But by the power of kilts, we shall make it through in a good standing.
Amazing.
Kilts and Spartans, right, Chris?
Kilts and Spartans, yeah.
No, is that right? Spartan? The pouch thing.
It's a Spartan.
Spartan.
I thought you said Spartans, so I just agreed with you.
Oh, no, I did say Spartans. I meant Sporin. It's your dice, right?
No. If anything, it's going to be the ski and do, which is like the ceremonial dagger you wear in your sock.
Ski and do, the name of the number 1 bar near the Aberdeen airport a long time ago. Fun times. Well, Chris, come back with your sparring or on it, I guess, while we're making metaphors. It's been a pleasure. I'm going to hand off here.
Been a pleasure, John.
Alex is going to take over from here. Guys, thank you so much for letting me waffle through a couple of amazing games of 40K. Peace.
Yeah, John Quennell, everyone. Thank you very much. And hello, Alex Tounce. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello, Chris. Oh, I am doing just fine. I've been making some use of my Saturday, and now I'm back ready to commentate until Sunday.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
This is like pretty much our usual like hangout hour anyway.
Yeah,
It is,
I was gonna say
no,
this looks pretty familiar.
Yeah. So are we live at the moment, Chris, or is this stream going on right now?
You are live.
Hello.
All of the career-ending things
wonderful,
you've said have just gone out into the world.
Hello, all the wonderful viewers of this fine charity hammer. I don't know if you could hear Mitch talking about all the career-ending things. I definitely didn't say. They apparently can. So, yeah, I definitely know what's up.
He did not. No, I don't. This is. I mean, if anyone's gonna do that, that would be me. Definitely. And by that I mean say something dumb on stream accidentally. Like, I'm pretty sure I've cursed the most so far. It's so often.
Well, you're running with like no sleep, so it's allowed.
I have been here since Thursday.
Yeah, how is this third Thursday, Chris? Not Chris, Mitch. Man, you'd think I'm the one without sleep.
Yeah, it is third Thursday for sure. We are. So let's see. I got here around noon on Thursday, I want to say. Yeah. So
how many hours sleep have you had since then?
4.
Oof.
Oh, baby. Yeah.
So you're feeling real trippy right about now, yeah?
Oh, I'm fine.
Oh, not doing hard enough then.
Yeah, that seems maybe concerning, Mitch. Have you had practice at this? I don't think you meant to have practice at running with this low sleep.
I just rolled an 18 on my con score.
Hey.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, lots of experience in like search and rescue situations and stuff, going without sleep for very long periods of time. So this is easy. I get to sit, so this is great.
Well,
man.
That is a horrible situation to be in, having to do a search and rescue.
Oh, usually it's actually a happy ending, but yes, it can be scary.
Fingers crossed for many more.
Yeah. Anyway, no, that's not what I do anymore. What I do nowadays is just raise money for children in children's hospitals. Take it away, guys.
Yeah. Chris, do you want to start the Child's Play spiel?
I will resume the Child's Play spiel. It never ended, baby.
Yeah.
So we are here raising money for a lovely charity called Child's Play. Here at Charity Hammer. Child's Play is a international charity which is in several countries, including the UK, US, Canada, and Australia, where they will put toys, video games to go with the consoles, and board games into children's hospitals, domestic abuse shelters, anything of the like, sort of stuff like that. And they also have some ground staff that run around making sure everything's working, that the kids know how to play the games, which is such an amazing extra service that they provide, purely because they got feedback from the nurses going, "This is great. We don't know what to do with it." So good on them for recognizing and solving the problem. And every $30 you donate, we get some lovely prizes. Hey, Alex, what are the prizes?
What are the prizes? Well, there's just like so many things you could add to your pile of potential. I picked up from my commentary time. Some may take shame in this potential, but anyway, just all sorts of different box sets. Some of the bigger prizes, I believe there's a Chaos Knights box getting given away. If not, I'm sure one of them will just like magically appear. That's sort of how things work here. And then the two top prizes, I do know. The nominal overall prize is a $1,200 gift voucher to Hammerhead Games, from Sacramento, California. So you can use that to get all sorts of Games Workshop Warhammer goodness if that's what you're after. But also Hammerhead Games stocks pretty much every tabletop wargame you could want, including Outward Realms, who Michael Timpe of Charity Hammer created. Yeah.
Yep.
And then the second place prize is Sean Naden will commission paint an army for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And his models look amazing.
Oh yeah.
And there's also a top donor prize as well, which is these lovely objective markers made by 3D6 Wargaming. We will collect a set of them at the end, get everyone to sign the markers, and send it to whoever who donates the most, making arguably the most unique set of markers in 40K.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe you get them, and then maybe you play off against John Lennon, and you throw these down on the table, and then he takes it easy on you for like the first 2 turns.
And you just jump up like from full seated position to squatting on the table, and just the intimidation factor is too much. The powerful display of legs, and then you could maybe win against them round 1, like like some Charity Hammer attendee. I am blanking on his name. Has done. But yeah, so who have we got lined up? Is this the previous game score?
We're gonna go get
Chris?
those cleared. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
and after I get that rectified.
I think if the schedule is to be believed, which I think it should be, we have the matchup known as Zach Attack versus the Hunter. So we have Mitchell Hunter versus Zach Nelson. I think this should be on the lava table, as is on table 1 on the schedule.
That is correct.
But we should get that all confirmed. Hey, I'm correct.
So far, you're so good. Zach will be playing his Thousand Suns versus Mitchell's Custodes.
T-Suns into Custodes. Is there Magnus? Do we know if there's Magnus?
No, there's no Magnus. There's just lots of
I believe if Zach's not changed his list, but he might have done, I believe he'll have at least 1 unit of 10 Scarab Hulk Terminators. There might be 2 of them now. And also he has 3 War Dog Executioners, I believe. They're the Chaos Knight equivalent of Helverins with their AP2 3 damage autocannons allied in there.
Lots of backup. And then on our second table for this stream slot, we have Paul Winters versus the one and only Tyler Bortel. So we'll have to see what comes of that matchup.
Yeah, that is 2 faction experts with a couple of factions that have had their highs and lows. In the case of Paul's beloved Slaanesh, they have been a bit on the low side for a long time.
Yes, but unfortunately, Alex, I'm going to have to abandon you for a few minutes whilst these games get set up, because Nara, my dog, is looking at me saying, if you don't take me out now, your carpet is forfeit. So I'm going to be back in 5 minutes.
I cannot argue with Nara. Nara is Chris's wonderful dog, and so hopefully I don't have a coughing fit while waiting for him to come back. So yeah, I should do the fun interactive thing and open up my YouTube and Twitch chats so we can see what you lovely viewers are saying. So why don't you say something in chat if you want to reply, and I will see them just in time for the delay to kick in. I see we've got Nurgle Matthew in YouTube chat as always. I don't quite know how you do it, but boy, do I appreciate it, sir. So, yeah. Without knowing what's coming up, I am blanking on what to vamp here. But yeah, everyone that hasn't donated, yeah, just reminding you, you can go to charityhammer.com. I believe the links should be down below in the descriptions of both of YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, you can donate to Child's Play, as has been said many times. Every $30 you donate will get you a raffle ticket with a chance to win a whole bunch of awesome prizes. So yeah, we're just waiting for this here table to get set up. The wonderful lava table with its big obscuring pillars. Looks like we are setting up for mission 1-1, which I cannot remember the name anymore of, but we can check. This will be from the new Warzone Nephilim mission pack. So everyone will be starting with limited CP, gaining 1 every player turn instead of each of their own turns. Yeah, and so this is mission 1-1, recover the relics. And so these players will be hoping they have some sort of forward deploy so that they can start on one of the objectives outside of their deployment zone. Otherwise, they will not be getting any of their command points for the first until their first movement phase, I suppose, where they can move and hold one of the objectives, because that's one of the mission rules for this specific mission. And otherwise, this is a hold 1, hold 2 mission, if I'm analyzing the objective setup correctly. And in addition, players will get sort of bonus primary points, sometimes called a tertiary objective, for kill points, basically. For each enemy unit they kill, each battle round, they will get a point. So that is the rundown of what I assume this mission is, based on the objective placement, just while we're waiting for players or Chris to return. I don't know if we have a table boss that can hear me that might be able to flick the lists into some channel where I can read it, and we can go over them. So bear with while I go and check for that somewhere. In the meantime, I'll do another quick check of Twitch and YouTube chat, see what you guys are up to. So yeah, sorry everybody, I don't think I've got any chats here just yet. We've got information from, it looks like last game, going through Jesse's list with sisters, it looks like. But that's not useful anymore. He's just finished playing. So yeah, if anyone's still here, please say something in the chat. Let us know. Apparently, Nugel Matthew was saying there was a Google Doc with lists earlier, and unsure if it's the master. That yeah, there really might be. I'm trying to keep track with Discord to stream a live feed of the table where there are still not some players yet. I think people are a bit dozy. I believe it's about 3 a.m. in where Charity Hammer is based. So this is the true graveyard shift for the players from 3 a.m. until 6 a.m. And yeah. So that might be why they're taking a minute to get set up. Oh, look, Nurgle Matthew is just fixing everything. He's got a link in the Twitch chat with a bunch of lists. That would be so helpful if I were better at remembering who was playing. I will go through names and go see. There was there were meant to be some Custodies played, I believe, by Mitchell Hunter. So yeah, we've got Mitchell Hunter's list here. Which I will read out and assume is correct. And we have a Chris back. Chris, you're back just in time. Nurgle Matt's come to save me a little bit. He sent a Google Drive, Google Documents list link, that one, with some lists. So we've got Mitchell Hunter playing his Custodies battalion. Have you seen Mitchell on stream yet? Does that sound right?
I have not had the pleasure of seeing Mitchell on stream yet.
From memory, I believe he might have a big old unit of bikes. No, okay, so Mitchell has 3 units of 3 bikes. A bike captain, 1 Trajan Valoris. I do wonder if these points are slightly off. Yeah, our stream boss Mitch hears that he's good. Oh, yeah. So this is with a mix of points. It is a 1960-point list because it includes Trajan at 160 points, but he's gone up to 200. So, yeah, he is leading the Custodies alongside... and he is his Emperor's Chosen. He's alongside a shield captain on Dornito Jet Bike, who has about 4 lines of text below his name. He has a ceremonial shiv, the Castellan's Mark to redeploy some troops, a salvo launcher to blow things up from afar. He has a 5-up Field of Pain, I would assume. Yep. And Auric Exemplar. So he is good at clearing hordes or elite units, the like. This is my go-to jet bike captain setup when I'm playing Custodies. He's got some sword and board guard. He's got some sisters. So 4 sword and board, 5 sisters, 3 units of 3 Sagittarium Custodians running around with their ceremonial shivs, their bolt calivers, shooting like heavy bolters, a flag, 3 units of bikes, and some Voidsmen at arms. Chris, have you got who is this up against? It's Zach Nelson's list. Have you got Zach?
I do not have Zach Nelson's list. I've been giving nothing and just told to come and be a lovely personality.
So I'm going to call an audible here, and we're going to swap over to the other game, since I don't know how long this next game is going to last, but I am excited for it.
Oh, boy.
All right, so again, I don't know if you can hear the stream boss right now, but we are swapping over. We've got Tyler Bortel. What does Tyler have here, Chris?
He has got a big old chunk of something. What is that model? I don't recognize that model, but he's being...
It's a Hierophant Biotitan, Chris.
He
has a Biotitan.
Let's look up what that does.
Oh, that is a big mama. So I could go get the rules for that. It is...
I have the rules for that up the screen
30
now.
Something wounds? 20, yeah. I think it's in the 30s of wounds.
First of all, it's 850 points.
It is 850 points, but it is no more any command points with the new mission pack, I believe, because it shares the Hive Fleet keyword with, I assume, a Hive Tyrant that will be Tyler's Warlord. So yeah.
Yep.
This is Tyler's baby. He loves her. And so it seems like a great list to bring out in the 3 to 6 a.m. wee hours games.
And I think also, just for the sake of like making this more of an interesting game, having all this power centered in this one unit will make it a bit more of an even matchup. Because Turner is obviously very, very strong right now. Chaos Demon is not so much.
Well, we're dealing with Paul Winters here, famous for running his 4 greater demons plus Bellacore, which I'm going to assume is what he's running here. We'll get to see very quickly.
Yep.
So I assume that would be 3 Keepers of Secrets. Is it Shalaxi Hellbane? The name.
Yes,
one?
It is Shalaxi.
And then Billy the Core. I love this.
Belly of the core indeed. So just to give the viewers an idea of what this Hierophant Biotitan can do. So first of all, it's 34 wounds, toughness 8, and a 2-up save. And I believe it's also got a 5+ invulnerable save. So it's got some good defenses. Offensively, though, it's got a range 12, assault d6, flamer, which is 7 minus 3 damage 1.
Chris, that is not the interesting part of that Biotitan. Get to the big guns, my guy.
I'm getting there. I'm just teasing them in. We have a dire biocannon, 48-inch range, and unfortunately, there's 2 of them. So he has 16 shots at range 48, at strength 10, minus 3, damage 3. Boom.
And if I'm not mistaken, he also has the ability to gain to +1 to hit on those. +1 to wound on those cannons.
He certainly does.
Yeah. So that is strength 10 +1 to wound, 4 damage apiece with 2 lots of 8 shots.
3 damage.
3 damage apiece. I apologize profusely, but that'll put some hurting on.
All you got to do is take D3 mark wounds out of your 34 wound count. Oh no!
I don't know. It's yeah. So
and then in melee it has 6 attacks at strength 10 minus 3, 6 damage, rerolling hits of 1, or and 10 attacks at strength 5 minus 1, 1 damage. This thing has got a lot. Plus, it can transport things. I don't know where in the model the things go.
It's a Biotitan inside. Get in my belly.
Yeah, it could transport up to 20 Hive Fleet infantry models with models with more than 1 wound taking up space of 2 models.
Yeah, and so I am seeing. I assume that's the 3 Keepers of Secrets on the 100 mil bases, and then is it Shalaxi on the oddball oval size? Maybe it's an older keeper model
behind them as well.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy.
Core behind. Oh boy, let's go.
Oh boy,
we are gaming.
There's more.
Okay, hang on. So what is there? Let's see if we can work out what that oval base model is.
There's some foots going on here by the Sinesh here.
So I think at the front there's the oval will be some other model. I don't know what.
Well, could it be the mirror? The guitar
contorted epitome. What's the 2? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go open up Games Workshop.
Big ass claws there. But yes, there's a lot of large models lining up on the front of the line there for the Sinesh Demons side of things, piloted by Paul Sinesh Winters himself. Meanwhile, I think we should all be getting the bug spray out, because there's a lot of gargoyles or something flappy going on the Turner side of things. And I also see, is that a wee Parasite and Mortrex hanging out behind the Biotitan?
Looks like it. Tyler is a big fan of the Parasite, especially with the sack, as he puts it, which is the gestation sack to poop out some ripper bases, and alien cunning is the warlord trait to move 16 plus D6 advance, or if he's playing Kraken, D3 plus 3, I would assume, and then do the action, giving up the no psychic phase, maybe the no shooting that the Parasite has. Before pooping out D3 plus 1 ripper bases.
It looks like
that
Tyler
just need to be within. Oh yeah, roll off. Who was going first? Did you see there?
Tyler's going first.
Oh baby, let's.
Which I think is actually what Sinesh wants.
Do you think so? Because he might move forward. I don't know if he's going to move forward. He might just those keepers are not hiding. The Biotitan might just try and pick up 2 of them with guns. But just quickly to address Nicholas James in YouTube chat, the stream is running all time, non-stop, all gas, no breaks. The only time it is going down is if Colin's house's internet cannot manage it, which kind of makes sense sometimes with how many gamers there are and trying to have 3-4 streams going.
Yeah, I could just imagine Colin running around going, "Get off of Hearthstone, come on."
Yeah.
Stop playing Magic the Gathering on your phone.
Well, I think we should be good in this, though, because we can't have Paul Winters is playing, so he can't be live streaming the hot tub stream.
Yeah.
As has been joked about previously. So yeah. I see Neurothrope. I see Gargoyles. I see the big boy Biotitan, the Parasite. Can you see any other Tyranids here?
I don't see any Tyranid warriors, but they could be hanging on. Oh, there we go. I think is that. I think they're Raveners coming out of the
Biotitan. I'm going to wait for the YouTube thing to update because that's got a slightly higher quality image than we are streaming. But yeah,
I'm making wild guesses. I think
that's probably warriors at this point. That looks like 9 on 50s. That's probably warriors. So yeah, big old brick of warriors
running out.
What did you say the transport was of the Biotitan?
20. So there could be two more. There could be two more models maximum in there.
Yeah, so that would be 20 warriors. 9 warriors that would have been inside the Biotitan. Yeah, I believe.
And the warriors are running up to take that objective.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how he's getting them out there. That feels like they've got it a bit far, but I'm sure Tyler's onto it. He's probably just placing them down to get all the models nearby, or some such. Oh yeah, there we go. He's got all the models, and he's bringing them around, and then he'll be doing his movement. Tyler, get him out of the forest. What are you doing, lad? Or maybe he's taken the ignore movement and charge penalties, just baked into his list. I don't know.
He is Kraken, isn't that the fast one?
Kraken is the fast one. They get D3 plus 3 as their sort of default adaptive, a change on the fly faction trait that they can no longer change on the fly as of the balanced data slate.
We have Tech Priest Mitch preempting my immediate question, which was, can we get some secondary information? And looks like we have that now.
Why would we want them, Chris? That would involve us actually analyzing instead of just wildly speculating.
Because I have the new Niflheim book in front of me and I want to use it.
What? You've got the new book? That's cheap. I don't know if it even exists in my country right now.
I asked my local game store owner, hey, I'm accommodating. Can I have it a day early? And he was like, sure, why not?
What an absolute champion. All right, so Tyler is... Oh boy! Tyler is gaming. These warriors are going to turn 1 charge.
Oh yeah, baby.
Oh, baby.
Well, they need to cast Onslaught for that if there's an advance roll.
Look,
and there are some
You're right, but this is Tyranids. And Tyranids do not cast the deny range if they don't want to. Do you wanna go through? Have you got any experience playing against bugs, Chris? I can't imagine why you might have got some experience doing that.
There's only some guy called Winnis Ilson who lives next to me.
So not any good Tyranid players, right?
No. He's okay, I guess. So
it's that is Winnis B. Ilson. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe that's his name. I don't really know him all that well. So playing into Tyranids, I haven't had the pleasure playing into a warrior spam build yet because that's not what Innes was running previously. I don't know what his plans are after the changes, but we are essentially going to be looking at a brick of toughness 5 3-wound models with reactive transhuman and reactive -1 damage taken.
Can they pop the reactive transhuman? Or is that monsters only the transhuman?
I think they can. I'll tell you what.
I'll send you in a book. Do you want to try find a book and get us an answer? And
yes, I'm definitely looking this up in a book.
Yeah, and so I'll just go over quickly how the way that Tyranid's going to make sure they don't get denied is. And so also I realized Kraken has an auto 8 advanced stratagem, so they might have used that. But yeah, so the way Tyranids can just choose to not fail powers if they want is the Neurothrope will hand out a cast on 3d6, drop 1 ability in the command phase. Neurothrope being a Tyranid Psyker HQ sitting at the back. It is the back leftmost model Tyler has there. And then if it is within 12 inches of a synapse creature, or something roughly like this, it can begin to form a synaptic network. So you'll see almost directly above the Neurothrope after the Biotitan's moved is the Parasite of Mortrex, which is a synapse creature. And then above the Parasite are the Tyranid Warriors within 12. And so the Tyranid Hive Mind can pass psychic powers down the synaptic sort of telephone wire hive mind chain. So the Neurothrope casts outside of deny range. and hands it off to the warriors.
And even if they didn't have that trick, the Neuroslope could just sit right behind the backmost warrior and be fine.
For sure. And it looks like that's. I assume that will be Onslaught. That's just been thrown down there.
Maybe Catalyst. Onslaught and Catalyst going on to something else.
Unless Catalyst is going on to the big old Biotitan there, perhaps.
Which effectively gives it 1/3 further wounds, bringing you up to nearly 50 wounds.
I do wonder. I think Catalyst might only be a 6-up on Titanic these days. A 6-up Field.
I will check that again in my book. 1 second.
And so, yeah. But so those Clearing the Warriors, if they have had Onslaught cast on them, will be advancing and charging without. They will be able to advance and charge. Yeah.
Yep, Titanic is 6-up, so effectively giving it 1/6 more wood when pushing it into the 40s.
Yeah.
So, are you ready to hear about some of the demon secondaries that have been taken?
The demon secondaries? Oh, because they have secondaries now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So first of all, we have a spelling issue. So we have Reality Rebels versus Reality Raiders. So Reality Rebels is the correct spelling. It is part of the battlefield supremacy. At the end of your turn, score 1 victory point for each table quarter that has 1 or more Chaos Demons units from your army wholly within it, provided your opponent does not have more.
Have been autocorrect doing that. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Provided your opponent does not have more units wholly within the same table quarter, and it does not count for stuff in the middle. And score 1 victory point if 1 or more Chaos Demon units from your army are wholly within 6 of the middle. So be prepared to score points.
Yeah, that just sounds like a slightly nicer version of Engage on All Fronts, right?
Yeah.
Because you can start scoring. You can score for just 1 table quarter, or you can. Yeah, it's a bit more binary. The opponents can stop it.
You're pretty much guaranteed to have 5 from your own table quarter.
Yeah, for sure. And if there's that was part of being near the center as well. That just seems really good for this Slaanesh army that wants to. They can just tow 1 unit down to that bottom quarter, get something within the middle, and they'll be scoring 3 points a turn at that rate, which is pretty good, really.
Meanwhile, the Spoilers of Reality is a shadow operation secondary, and any infantry unit can do this action. I'll just summarize it for you all. So as 1 or more demons unit can perform an action, end of movement phase to the start of your next command phase or end of battle, whichever comes first. You must be in range of a different marker, and you must control the marker to start the action. And every one you do, you get 4 points. I like that they've made it 4 points rather than 3 points, as they tend to be, because demons need the help, 1, and also means it's very possible to get maximum points on a 5 mission on a 5 objective mission.
So was that it goes for a whole turn? Could you start that multiple of them in a turn, or only 1 per turn?
Yep, 1 or more Chaos Demons infantry units can do this.
That is quite strong.
So this list, which is all the big boys, will struggle because there are a lot of monsters.
So that's true, but also if you're just applying this pressure with, oh dear, that is a Dead Keeper. I think that might have been the Biotitan going bang. Yeah.
And Tyler is taking none of the new Nid secondaries.
So I think that was probably a split firing Biotitan. I see a stack of wound dice behind it, so I would assume that means it did take D3 mortal wounds for +1 to wound. And the wound counter next to the unidentified oval-based demon, which, shout out in Twitch or YouTube chat if you think you know what it is, has taken damage as well. And I'm picking he'll be trying to pick up the spear, so to speak, the warrior's shooting. Or not, or he is just going to charge in. I would assume that is Tyler making a charge with the warriors.
Yep.
Yeah, so get stuck in, lads.
So I'm going to just check the base sizes of things. So I think we have, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Selexi the Vengeful Allegiance, which is on a 50 mil base, which is the keeper that looks a bit different.
Right,
so that's a named keeper, which gives a reroll once to hit for all /demons, which is nice. Which I'm not sure if a regular Keeper Secrets does.
Yeah.
So
Tyler.
So
and
Tyler
charging in here and
Shalaxi.
just making sure he's outside of Heroic Intervention range there. Sorry, continue, Chris.
Yeah, and then I think the over one is indeed the duo one, whichever one that is.
The Contorted Epitome, the mirror, or
my book is misbehaving.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to figure out. It might just be a keeper based on a novel, because there is definitely a named keeper named Shalaxi, and also you can take 3 of the regular ones.
That doesn't get us to 5 though, because 1 keeper has died, and there's still 4 Keeper of Secrets looking-ish models on the table.
Yes, but what it is that it's Shalaxi, it's Selesky, and then there's 3 keepers. So there's 2 named.
Okay. There are 2 named things, both with an S. That makes sense. So. Yeah.
Working from a top-down angle makes it hard to identify things sometimes.
And also us not being as familiar as we might like with some armies. So yeah, bear with us, chat. Let's claim it's because it's early in the morning, even though it's probably not.
Yeah, it's definitely 11:30, and it's early in the morning for me.
Yeah.
So it looks like Paul was basically said. Tyler said to Paul, "I don't care about objectives here. I'm just going to kill you."
Yeah, maybe he might be trying to pile onto that central objective with the with those warriors. I'm not sure what mission we're playing here. Maybe.
I think we're playing Death and Zeal, which is
okay.
All about the middle. Because if it was priority targets, it'd be the same setup, and objectives would have moved.
Priority targets isn't the other table quarters one. I believe it is it. It's not. It's conversion. I believe is the other table quarters one like this.
Oh yes, I keep forgetting conversion is a thing.
Yeah. So those warriors have dispatched another Keeper of Secrets. So this is going pretty rough. What do we expect to happen in return here with the keepers?
Oh, it looks like we're having an overrun play here. So
that's just brutal. Is he overrunning these warriors and getting them back inside of the Hierophant?
Maybe. Is that a thing you could do?
That is just savage. Yeah, well, because it's making normal move, is it not? And if they can move far enough to get to the Biotitan, get wholly within 3 inches of it, which I assume he has managed.
That is just
those warriors have run away and hopped back in the Biotitan.
Well, I was about to say Paul's going to have some very easy charges, but now he's going to have some slightly more difficult charges.
Oh, those I think are still some very easy charges. I am picking that Biotitan will go down. I think it'll be charged by at least 3 of those monsters. I think Be'lakor will fly over the left, and then 2 of those demons will be advancing and charging. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see all
Be'lakor
3.
Who's like D3+3 damage and ignores invulns.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see all 4 of those big monsters make combat with a Biotitan.
We'll be pivoting on over to the other game.
Yep.
Sorry.
So apparently we'll be transitioning to the next game.
Actually, never
mind.
We're gonna stay here. I didn't realize that this is going to be over real fast.
Yeah. Let's just stay here.
Mitch, can the stream hear you right now?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So we are staying here. Yeah. So look at that movement. So these keepers are advancing and charging because they are Slaanesh characters, giving themselves an aura. Yeah.
I don't think there are any defensive stratagems that Tyler can put onto the Biotitan. But I think he's okay, because once that Biotitan goes down, yes, it is nearly 1,000 points of his army. But the 2 monsters, if not 3 monsters, should die in return.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if he's going to be able to wrap that Biotitan and prevent some of the warriors from getting out. So this is an advance for the keep. Well, there's a lot of big base there, right? Like, no, so only Be'lakor's at the top to get around the side. So no, it won't be wrapped. But I reckon all 3 of these. I reckon all 3 of these Keeper or pure Slaanesh monsters in the middle of the table will make their charge, and Be'lakor's just pretty much guaranteed his one there as well.
Yeah.
No, this is.
It's going to be brutal, and it's like this is how you know your opponent's model has a lot of wound. When you see 6 dice denoting its wounds remaining.
Oh yeah.
Oh baby. Yeah, Bellacor's ability to be AP4 and ignoring vulnerable, forcing the battle engine onto a 6+ armor save will be big here.
Yeah, I do wonder. Do you happen to know if there's a Fights Last that Slaanesh can put onto onto the Biotitan? Or is the table boss able to let us know how many there's a word for it, how many command points Tyler has? If he finished his turn with 1 command point, he will be able to interrupt because he'll get 1 from Paul's turn. So that Biotitan interrupt will be no joke.
So let's see. Can Be'lakor bring a Fight Last?
The Disciples of Be'lakor spells, that feels like it might have a Fight Last in there. I'm not sure. It'll be pretty... Oh no, it's not a character. I was going to say, if it was a character, the Forbidden Gem. But no.
Yeah, but
it's
something
not a
Be'lakor
character,
can do, if I'm reading these rules correctly, Be'lakor can bring Death Hex, which turns off the invulns.
Oh yeah,
which could help here.
Well, he ignores invulns anyway. If you said it only had a 5-up, and the keepers I don't think are above AB3, so that won't help.
Yes, that's true. 2 at 5-up won't help there. I don't think Slaanesh has a Fight Last because they rely on Fight First instead.
Yeah. Looks like we've got some smites coming here. That looks like a super smite. Unless the Shadow of the Warp is stopping it. I'm not sure. I think they're going away to check some distance. Oh no, that was a spell being cast. Paul will probably be kicking himself in the order that those was rolled. So yeah, we've got a psychic phase. We've got powers or smites or some such going on.
Yeah.
I think that was a deny there from Tyler, because if he's in deny range, I think he's in shadow range.
Only down to 5 dice now for the wounds for the Power Titans. We're getting there.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I reckon if the Tyler has animal to CP because I see a D20 sitting in the bottom rune there. Unfortunately, I cannot read it.
Yeah. So I think there's some shooting coming from the whips of one of the Keepers of Secrets potentially.
Yep.
Yep. So tick, tick, tickle, tickle. Down goes the wounds of the Biotitan. So yeah, just bear with us, chat. We are waiting for the charge phase.
We're waiting for the actual phase to begin. This is just Paul Slaanesh Winters tickling you right now.
Yeah, it's just he's warming up, teasing you a little bit. Right?
Yeah, tickling you with whips, but still tickling you.
Yeah. And if it's agonizing, then that's kind of what Slaanesh is about, right? So
yeah, that's more on you than on him.
Yeah. Just going back through to YouTube chat, Nicholas James, sounds like you lost nap roulette. I can relate to this, my friend. Falling asleep at 3? No, falling asleep in the afternoon, waking up at 3 a.m. Yeah, that's fair enough. I am going to be here commentating until 4 a.m. my time, the wee hours in the morning, to help make it through the night shift of Charity Hammer time.
And I'll be with you all that time as well. It's you and I for a double slot.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
So it looks like Paul has chosen here to charge. It's an interesting order, I would say. So it looks like he's leaving one keeper not in combat, choosing to keep that on the objective.
I think that makes sense. Looking at the number of wounds dice that are remaining, as I can't read them, the Be'lakor and 2 keepers should have this pretty comfortably.
Yeah, so he rolled a charge there. So I think what he was doing is he was just giving himself if the first demon, the whatever's on the oval base, if that had gone first, maybe it would have died to Overwatch. So that could have been a reason. Or maybe it would have, if that had failed to get far enough, and all the subsequent keepers had failed to roll far enough, he could have log jammed himself and caused 2 charges to not make it. So this way, I think it was just the safest, most guaranteed way to avoid any adverse effects.
I'm a bit surprised to see that Bellicor hasn't kind of gone round the long way to then tag the Parasite to stop the Parasite from doing all the shenanigans next turn. But I suppose Bellicor's there to stop the Warriors getting out in a more threatening place.
Yeah, that's true. But also, if the Parasite does, even if it gets tagged, it has, I assume, Alien Cunning, so it can fall back in action. So it doesn't actually stop it from doing very much.
If Tyler paid for the Warlord trait.
Indeed, but he loves the gestation sack and Alien Cunning, so I expect he will have done. I would expect the Neurothrope to have made the Warlord, and then a CP or 2 CP paid to upgrade the Parasite.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got some attacks coming through. We're down to 3 dice, so that Biotitan has maximum 18 wounds, but I would expect it to be slightly less.
Good Feel No Pain roll there.
That is solid. Yeah, half of his 6-up Feel No Pains. We are still down to 2 dice, so maximum 12 wounds. I'm picking 11 actually, because he dropped 1 down.
Oh, whatever that roll was not good, but you can re-roll, thankfully.
Yes. All right, so
3 saves, 1 and 1 made.
Yeah.
So that should be another 6 damage here.
Yep. So
Only
Keeper
passing
Secret swings. Yep.
So down to 1 dice, maybe 6 wounds remaining. I think
we're going to lose the Biotitan here. So this, I think, will be quite quick. We need to see how badly the Tyranid warriors inside can clap back and avenge their beloved Biotitan. I also wouldn't be surprised if Tyler had something hiding elsewhere in reserves. This feels slightly less than 1,000 points, but maybe I'm misjudging how many points Warrior bricks cost with the new update.
I can give you a rough estimate if you give me 2 seconds.
I'm going with the Neurothrope and Parasite will be running you a bit over 200. The Warrior Brick will probably round that to 400 to 500. Those, I believe there were 2 units ago, as we probably saw, would have been less than 100 each, right? And so that's still not bringing us close to 2,000. So I'm picking Tyler will have something else somewhere that we can't quite see at the moment.
So I'm not sure about the new points. Actually, I can just look up the new points before I just tell you all point data. Let me just do that, because that makes a lot more sense than giving false data.
Yeah, sounds good.
As a good little scientist, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't see much more in the way of dice rolling at the moment though. So we've just picked up the dice. This is, I believe, rolling for the warriors to get out. One of the warriors, I believe, has perished inside of the belly of the Biotitan.
Yep. So just for the base warriors, I don't know what war gear exactly Tyler's running them with. It's 270 points just for the chassis, before war gear and extra stuff. So I reckon you're probably looking at about 300 points once you just put on some more gear. Because like the dual bonus horses, which is what you want to run them with, is somehow free.
Yep, that was a bit of a surprising change, really, on the on the all points update. But hey,
it's just tomorrow that we live in.
Yep. All right. So the warrior's just getting out there.
Yep, getting out. Nice
there was a Death Leaper inside as well.
Hey, Death Leaper.
That is quite funny.
I do love me some Death Leaper.
Yeah.
He is so annoying to shift.
Oh man,
for example, and the reason why Death Leaper is getting out there is that when you're next to Death Leaper, you cannot use stratagems, which means you cannot do things like give your demons a better invuln save.
Yeah, I believe specifically this is in combat. You can't if you're in engagement range. So yeah, okay, Tyler just carefully getting his warriors out now. So yeah, dotting his I's, crossing his T's, so to speak.
Yes, while you're in engagement range. So maybe try to just bait Paul in there, say, here, look, there's another little bug for you to eat. But
oh yeah, and look at these two, great sportsmanship there. So I believe Be'lakor would have swung last, and so they're just using their 2 combat gauges there to make sure Be'lakor is not within 4 inches of the warriors, so he cannot pile in and tag them and disrupt Tyler's plans. I suspect we'll see. Yep, Be'lakor going to toe that objective.
Yep.
I do wonder actually if that's. I will see what the primary score happens here, because if that was if we were playing Death and Zeal, we should see some primary points tick up for holding objectives that weren't controlled. And I can't quite remember what the conversion tertiary was. I'll go look that up.
Conversion is holding the ones in the middle, so you get 2 points, I think, per time you take an objective or hold an objective that no one held before in the middle of the field. They're basically the same, just one's all over and one's in the middle. But yeah, do you know what something, Alex? We never named the Battle Hidden. We never named that beautiful model.
No, I don't know.
And we've missed our chance.
I
feel sad now.
I'm sure Tyler will have a name for it. All right, so it looks like we are swapping over to have a look. So this is the Thousand Suns versus the Custodes. Is it the Custodes? Yep.
Yes.
So we have a whole pile of bikes down the bottom, and we have yeah. So what is going on here?
It looks like maybe something. The models were being set up there, so maybe it's Zach Nelson's turn 1. So I think the Souls have gone first. They've run on up, done some damage, and now the Thousand Suns are advancing forward to maybe try and do some move blocks or get into flame range or something like that.
Yeah, this is some really interesting positioning from Mitchell with the Custodes, actually. I quite like it. So he's got a big old brick of Sagittarium Guard up the top right there. I assume Trajan will be in there with them. I can't quite tell with the golden circles all there, but I see 10 models. Trajan's probably sitting at the bottom of that pack, and so they'll be looking to, I would assume, plink some shots onto that War Dog at the top there. And then the biker gang is bottom left, pushing up. We've got a squad of 3 at the front baiting. So yeah, from seeing stream games of Mitchell's throughout the weekend, I think he likes running his bikes in these big brick packs together. I believe with one out the front to sort of be a bit of a bait. Go on, if you want to charge these guys, you will get hammered hard by the guys in behind. Yep.
And as you are a Custodes player yourself, what do you think of the secondaries that Mitchell has chosen?
What do I think? The Custodes Stranglehold. So that's that is an end of if he's going second, that's really solid. That's hold it's effectively Custodes. Yeah, so it's like Stranglehold, but you only need to hold more mid-board objectives than your opponent. So can hold those middle ones. It is scored at the end of the battle round though, so that a big advantage going second. And I believe it's 4 points per as well. I could be mistaken, but I'll go check my book. Grind them down and raise banners. So yeah, actually, I think these are a bit interesting. Like, so raise banners makes sense on this mission specifically. So I imagine he might actually have. I would imagine he would have a flag raising one banner and some shield guard raising another on his 2 midfield objectives. The Voidsmen, I assume, are holding his backfield. But yeah, I honestly, I'm not sure if I would have gone for these secondaries against Thousand Suns. Maybe you'd think of poor, but Zach might actually not give up enough on that. I would need to take a closer look at the list.
Yes, with a lot of points sunk into the Howrens, maybe this is a weird Thousand Suns where you don't give up active bore, which is probably quite nice for the Thousand Suns.
For sure, especially if he has, say, some Terminator bricks. Another one is maybe Auric Mortalis could have been worth considering. Do you happen to know the price of a Scarab Occult brick?
Give me a second.
Yeah. Because if that happens to come into less points than the Helverins, I seriously would have considered.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I seriously would have considered Auric Mortalis, because if those bikes can shoot down if they can coordinate to shoot down 2 of the Helverins and then crash in and finish the other one off with combat, that'd be a pretty solid 15 for something that I believe they'd want to do anyway. But maybe they want to be charging the
so a Scarabug
Terminators.
Brick, 10 of them, with the double cannon, double missile rack, which is the standard way of running it, before you put any of the Legion Command stuff on there, is 440 points.
That's close. But I think the Helverins would actually be more than that.
I will check that.
They, I believe, are 155 each, so that'll put them at... That is close. I am going to see if Zach's list has points next to it that I can check.
155 times 3 is 465, so maybe the Scarabug Cult have one of those Legion Command upgrades on them, because I think one of them is pretty expensive at 25 points.
Yeah, I'm going to go check these lists, because that's interesting. But yeah, so I'm sure Mitchell will have a plan with this. He's definitely playing this Custodies list in a bit of a different way that I've played them. But it looks quite cool. I really like the look of the bricks of units that are the same running together.
Yeah.
It's honestly something I might consider trying myself.
And Mitchell's running Emperor's Chosen, right? So that means they have mortal wound defense against Psychic.
Yeah, they have some mortal wound defense, which will come in key against the Thousand Suns. To be honest, if they were Shadow Keepers, that could also be pretty big. They would take more psychic damage, but the stratagem for -1 strength with potentially a bunch of 4 damage bolter shooting or strength 4 bolter shooting and strength 7 autocannon shots coming in when you are toughness 6 on the bikes or potential strength 5 bolter fire into toughness 5 infantry bodies, that could be pretty big in terms of survivability. But on those bikes with salvo launchers, the single reroll per squad is it's so efficient.
Yeah. Shall we have a very quick check-in with the demons? I don't want to miss the demon, anything to do with the demons on there. Looks like it's a very aggressive positioning by the demons coming on up. The parasites taking over the top left objective. We have a couple of comments. Sunny Carl John asked, did Big Bug just die? Yes, Big Bug did die. Unfortunately, it was kind of always going to happen. And Classic Backham says, Demons, I thought the worst army tournament was over. Hee hee. Well, my guy, my class Beckham, you are watching the one and only Paul Winters Slanesh himself, and this is his one true love faction, and you'll be hard pressed to find a better Slanesh player. So if anyone can make them work, it is this individual here.
Yeah. So no, I'm not seeing Zach's list here. To be able to check points, but anyway. That is not the game we are looking at. We are seeing Tyler roll a bunch of dice. Come on, Tyler, get to the charge phase. I want to see where the Warriors go, and then I want to see how many of these big demons get picked up and go away. I also want to see
Warriors kill Pellicor.
I'm just going to go with yes. I think they probably do. They probably have. I would expect them honestly to have direct guidance from the Neurothrope. That feels like a trait that you would. Or would you take it if they're planning to live in the belly of the bug and it's command phase upgrade? I don't know, but yes, they might be only hitting on 4s and melee against Bellicor because I think he's -1 to hit, right?
He's not -1. Sorry, he is -1 to hit. You cannot reroll the attack roll. He's also -1 to wound. So
that's the shooting, tough. I believe, right? Or maybe that's Disciples of Bellicor. I don't know Demon's rules.
No, his ranged attack is -1 to wound, -1 to hit for all attacks, and that's the defense he has. He has like 5 rules that are all a paragraph long.
Yeah, for sure. But no, those Tyranno Warriors.
If you hear some banging, my dog is sleeping and wagging her tail.
Oh, that is just... I am well okay with that. Stream, if you hear banging, it is good news. Yeah.
She is chasing rabbits in her sleep. Yes, I think that if any troop unit in this game can kill Bellicor, it's probably a 9-brick of Tyranno Warriors and Kraken.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some more that we're not thinking of, but yeah.
A Deathwatch Kill team could probably do it.
Oh yeah, they I would definitely expect could do it. Hitting on pretty good, automatically applying wounds. Yep, that I expect could do it.
Here's 3 CP to kill Be'lakor.
Yeah, for sure.
Necron Warriors, maybe.
Yeah.
They're pretty tasty.
That's not where I was going to go. I was just thinking of big old Bricky Custodes, because that's cheating a little bit. A 500-point troop unit could that might do it.
Yeah.
You know, hitting on threes even through his look, if we're really stacking it, right, we could be hitting on twos with emissaries, ignoring modifiers, wounding on. We can get to wounding on twos with strength 8 spears in the right kata into a monster on the charge, and with +1 to wound, Slayer of Nightmares. I think twos and twos with up to 40 attacks, doing 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would do it. It's not necessarily realistic, but hey.
It looks like we have some gargoyles shooting into some demonettes at the back of this middle objective here.
Yeah.
Just
so the
taking out the shaft.
Yep, those that is a pretty efficient shooting target. The flesh borers usually don't do very much, but conversely, it doesn't take much to knock over a demonette just chilling in the open.
I think we've just made it into the charge phase. Yes, we have, and the Warriors have made a successful 6-inch charge into Be'lakor.
Tick-tock charge o'clock.
And it looks like all of these claw boys and swordy boys are going to have a great old time making mincemeat of the Lord of Shadows.
Yep.
See, his name isn't edgy enough. That's the issue. He just needs to be more edge. Do you think we'll see any other charges happening here?
I think Death Leaper probably goes into something. I'm a little bit surprised Death Leaper didn't move, but yeah, I expect Death Leaper and the Gargoyles would do something. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tyler charging with the Gargoyles into the same target, perhaps also into Be'lakor, where the Warriors are going to go. And then when Be'lakor, I assume, is killed by the Warriors, he might overrun those Gargoyles to go contest an objective. If he rolls high, yep, so we've got Gargoyles moving in.
Alex seeing the future here.
I am seeing the future, and maybe I've also talked to Tyler and heard some of his strategy plans. So maybe not doing that. I expect what he's going to do is he's just going to line up and he will line up here. And yeah, I wonder why Death Leaper hasn't charged anything. Maybe he failed a charge somehow. But if he's within 3, he can't fail that charge.
Yeah.
I am confused.
Anyway, whilst the charge is finishing up.
I bet I know what it is.
Oh yeah?
I'm sure I know what it is. Death Leaper is a character. Paul Winters will have used the Forbidden Gem. He might have stopped his charge. Death Leaper's probably sitting there being like, yep, we're going to charge 1 or 2 of these, whatever. Take his picking, either in the movement phase or the charge phase. Paul would have used the Forbidden Gem and said, "No, sir, no, you shall not do anything." Either no moving or charging, but specifically turning off charges with where he was positioned within 3 of both of those characters, letting them heroic intervene. That would be my guess.
That's pretty big, and that's why Paul is indeed Sinesh incarnate.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing. This is the sort of thing you can pull out only when you have just been battling on pure Slaanesh demons for just
translation.
Forever?
You've just been beating your head against the wall over and like eventually you will see new colors. And you will have new sensations that no one else has
see so much purple now. Anyway, Alex, whilst Tyler gets ready to absolutely massacre Be'lakor with some warriors, can you tell us whilst we're here and what we're doing?
Why are we here? What are we doing? We are watching Warhammer, but we are watching Warhammer for a fantastic reason here. This is Charity Hammer, which, as its name would suggest, is about charity. Child's Play specifically is the charity we care about. Do you want me to keep going, or do you want to run down what Child's Play does?
Nah, you're on a roll, man.
Alrighty, so Child's Play. We're all about hospitals helping sick kids, but what Child's Play was not okay with was sick kids not having fun in hospitals. So they were like, we're going to put a stop to this. We're going to fix this. We can't make kids better magically. We'll leave that to the doctors, but we can make them happier. So they provide toys, games, video games, board games, all that sort of stuff to children in children's hospitals to make their time there as pleasant as possible. I fortunately didn't have any such experiences myself, so can't say firsthand. But a lot of the wonderful folk in the Best in Tabletop Discord have expressed how it can be really, really rough with children in hospitals at such a young age, and being bored just makes that even worse. So it's a great cause that Child's Play has done. And then, as if that wasn't enough, when they got feedback from nurses, they were told, hey, this is awesome, but we don't know how to make these games consoles run. So they hired people to go to hospitals and set them up, full-time staff to make it easier for the nurses to keep these kids happy. It's really just fantastic. Colin has been running Charity Hammer. No, I'm on a roll, Chris. I got this. Colin's been running Charity Hammer this is the 4th year now, donating Child's Play each time. Before this Charity Hammer, we were up to $100,000, right? $100,000 raised for Child's Play. And Colin wondered, is Child's Play just supporting North America? It is not. They are international. They have also branches in Australia, the United Kingdom, and other places around the world outside of North America. And even more. What's more? We don't like sick kids, but we also don't like domestic abuse. And so Child's Play is helping similarly with domestic abuse shelters. How'd I do, Chris?
We'll run through surprises in a second because Bellicor's making his saves. He has failed 7 of them so far. One more failed save and he dies, and that's one more failed save. I think there's a CP reroll coming in here, maybe. Yes, there is.
I believe. Do you believe? I believe.
I believe.
That is a boxcars.
Bellicor lives on 2 wounds because of the 2 damage bonus swords. Maybe if that one turn warrior right at the back there could have gotten into fight.
I was watching the charge there. I do not think he had the distance to do that.
No, but on a
what I believe
charge,
in now.
Maybe.
Do you know what I believe in, Chris?
In a thing called love?
Yeah, sure. And what I would love to see is the Gargoyles finish off Bellicor.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
The Gargoyles are going to be in a bit of struggle though because they had to kind of weirdly chain themselves out between these 3 big units as big models. But I believe in them. And
I see at least 2 that can hit Bellicor.
Yeah.
I suspect though what will happen is Paul will be attacking with probably not Bellicor. He'll probably attack with either the Keeper or the or whatever the not Keeper is.
Rip.
And go, oh boy, they be picked up. Yep, no, they're gone.
Whilst this charge page finishes off, I'm going to take a moment to tell you about what you can get if you do donate to Child's Play, because it's not all about that warm, tingly feeling you get inside. We're also going to give you prizes, and when I say prizes, I mean prizes. So, in addition to a bunch of random Warhammer that has been given to us to give away to you lovely folks at home, you can also win one of our 3 top prizes. So we have a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games, which you can get a whole bunch of hobby supplies and a whole bunch of hobby systems for, including Albert Realms, made by our very own, I'm blanking on the name now. Michael. Help me out. Help me. Help.
Meeting food. Michael Tempe.
Yeah. That's it. Thank you. Made by our very own Michael Tempe. So that's a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games. You can win a Sean Nathan commission-painted army, which is an incredible prize, captain of Team USA. Or if you are our top donor, these lovely objective markers on the table, we're going to sign them. Everyone's going to sign them. We're going to send them to you, and you will have the most unique objective markers in 40k. And then, meanwhile, whilst I was saying on that, Death Leaper took a beating. But he's somehow alive.
Yep.
Or Death Leaper gave a beating. One of the 2. There was some claw action going over there. There were some moans from Slaanesh probably.
Yeah, look, I'm just going to wait and I'm going to see and get excited by someone hitting something. I assume Be'lakor will hit back at some point. I would expect one of those keepers or some such to hit Death Leaper, maybe. This looks like Paul rolling some more attacks. Tyler's rolling some saves, probably Death Leaper. I think he has a 4-up invul, so I think it was only one failed save there. Death Leaper has a wound counter on him.
I think Tyler is currently in the warrior synaptic imperative, which gives him extra hits and 6s.
Yep.
So yeah, 4++ here. Is that the end?
Death Leaper. I don't know. To be honest, would have expected
So
I would have expected something
if you look
other than
at Death Leaper, you'll see that there is a wound dice on him, and then there is a counter on the Forge World Keeper. I believe that we are now seeing Be'lakor swing back.
Yes.
And I think we have one more keeper to swing possibly into Death Leaper.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too surprising. I expected one of them to pick up the gaunts and or at least attempt to pick up the gaunts and maybe put something in Death Leaper, which that might have happened. Are we on to morale? I see more dice being rolled.
Yes, we're on to morale, and I think one of the units failed on a 6 and lost a second one to the combat attrition test, and I think the one in the unit is fine because they're an extra keeper.
So what?
Yeah. So to run through what I think happened in the combat phase, and maybe Mitch can correct me. I believe so. We had I assume Death Leaper was forbidden gemmed in the charge phase. Maybe you can confirm that. The keepers then heroically intervened. The warriors will have failed to kill Be'lakor by 2 damage, I assume. One of the keepers will then have fought first because of the Quicksilver speed of Slaanesh. They have cleared Be'lakor of any troublesome gaunts that might try to finish off his last 2 wounds, maybe hit Death Leaper as well. At which point another keeper can have a go at Death Leaper, but Death Leaper shall not bow. He is sitting with 4 wounds remaining. He hit back, but not before Be'lakor went and took a few warriors for their trouble. How am I doing, Mitch?
Grade A nutshelling there for sure.
Yeah. You know what I would love to see before we switch over to the other stream? I would love to see, or even whilst we're over, I just want to see Be'lakor dying to cut them down.
That I would not be mad about that.
In range to roll. That's 5 dice. Just get 2 6s. Easy.
Yeah. So maybe we will. I think he would just stay in combat. Oh, because he can have Hysterical Frenzies cast on him. Be'lakor is going to get to fight twice more before the warriors do, because he will fight first, and he can fight in the psychic phase with Slaanesh. I think this might be Paul's game to win, actually, or maybe Paul's to lose if he's advantage. I don't know how to use that saying.
The second one.
Some demonettes
Paul's game to lose.
Maybe charge into the Parasite and Mortrex.
Yeah, or at minimum, just be obsec and hopefully hold that objective. The Parasite will be counting as 5 models of obsec, if I know Tyler. But that appears to be 10 demonettes, which will say, yoink, gimme, this objective is mine.
At the bottom of round 2, it is very close with the 12 to the demons and the 15 to the big bugs.
Oh yeah, I am over to the next game, guys.
Yes, let's go see what's happening.
I am backing Paul on that game, though. I see a lot less bikes. Oh, yeah, many less bikes. So, I'm going
to say psychic shenanigans happened.
I actually think just all of Zach's output is probably quite efficient on those bikes. He'll be...
Armigers are very, very, very efficient. I was talking to Mitchell about this earlier. I don't know if it was today or yesterday or the day before that, but it's all the same day. So I was talking to him earlier today about how the Armigers just shred bikes.
Yeah, that tracks with my experience. They are strength 7 AP2 that is awful for Custodes bikes at toughness 6, 2 up armor, 4 up invul. It's just the perfect strength to wound on 3s, put them to their invul. 3 damage means 2 go through, only lose 1 damage in terms of efficiency into their 5 wounds. It is a whole lot of not good for those bikes. It looks like Zach might even have still had all 3 of those armages still around. There might be one sitting at the top left there, next to the Zach name 24 victory point token. In which case, yeah, all 3 of those armages still being around is so bad news for the bikes.
I think we just had a charge coming in from the rubrics there, and he's measuring backwards to get the rear ones, but I think he just said it's not worth it. He wants to get the volume in there. And David Gaynard popping into the stream. Hey, David, how's it going?
Hey,
I'll pass on your hellos, Dennis.
Kiwi. David, congrats on your work. Are you top of the ITC at the moment, or has Vic yoinked that back?
I think Vic might just done it after Newcastle.
Perhaps, but hey, I'm excited. What chat did you see that in? Because I might just be blind and not seeing it.
If you scroll up to, I'm just gonna repost it.
Alrighty.
I'll pop a link into Discord. There you go. It kind of collects all the comments together. Yeah. Vic had a game in Manning the semi-final and just yoinked it back. But you'll get it back, David. I believe in you. So a whole bunch of dice being rolled. I think this is the attacks with the Scarbercout and melee being rolled into the Custodes here. Those Scarbercout and melee, they can do work. They're strength 5 minus 3 damage too. There's not a nasty, it's not a terrible profile, and yet those Custodes are now gone. And some piling in. Oof. We may have a race on our hands here. Can the Sagittarium squad up at the top secure the victory before these rubrics do next turn?
I'm just going to put it out there and say I don't think so. The Sagittarium Guard, they are strength 5, which is nice in the tough 4 Terminators. They hit on 2s, they wound on 3s even with prescience. They'll be hitting on not prescience, the -1 to hit power that can be cast on those Terminators. Hits on 3s, wounds on 3s, reeling 1 from Trajan. That seems good, but only AP1 into 2-up save, RM of Contempt, and also -1 damage for those Terminators. I do not fancy the chances of the Sagittarium doing anything super meaningful at range to the Terminator brick. I would love for Mitchell to prove me wrong here, but I do not rate their chances to do much of anything here. This feels really, really solid for the Thousand Suns. All of those bikes just getting picked up, and those Terminators getting an aggressive mid-board positioning is just brutal. That Voidsman at Arms squad is not long for the world. Just sitting there strung across the back 2 objectives for Mitchell. The Terminators will, if they can get line of sight, will pick them up.
And the Thousand Suns already have a pretty commanding lead of 15 points at this stage of the game. This is also what I want to say to David. You missed the Battle Titan. You missed it. We had one in the other game. Didn't last long, but you missed it.
There was a Bio Titan that was holding a brick of 9 warriors and a Death Leaper. It was excellent. The warriors ran forward, hopped out, overrun back into the Bio Titan, and it was then promptly beaten down by 3 greater demons. Be'lakor, or I think it might have been Be'lakor, Celeste, and a keeper.
Be'lakor and Celeste. I don't know.
Yeah. Be'lakor, Keepers of Secrets, or Hiders of Knowledge, something. The Keeper of Secret adjacent.
It's definitely time to dust off your Battle Titan and bring it to the top tables. So it looks like the Custodes have advanced up here to get some more commanding lines of sight and threat ranges here with the Sagittarium, trying to call things back. They're shooting into the Armiger, which I think is down to 6 wounds. Sorry, the War Dog.
Yeah, that's fair. But the one thing again here I'm a bit questioning of, but hey, not to take it from Mitchell. I am just scared. Like I said, AP2 3 damage on those Helverins or War Dog Executioners, I believe. Really bad news for a 2-up, 4-up save and 3 wound Sagittarium Guard. So Maybe they're just really hoping they can put the knights down before they get shot back at. Otherwise, I might have liked to see some of them just touching some terrain so they can try to take 3-up armor saves.
I'm not sure what else the Exos have left to shoot here, because I've seen a lot of shots go into that War Dog Executioner, and I've seen probably Trajan picking up the one rubric or whatever was on that objective, standing so bravely there. So we may be into Zach's turn.
We might be, but really, Mitchell lost a massive, massive chunk of his army. So I assume that was the bike captain, the 9 bikes, and the unit of 4 shield guard. The Voidsman will be down soon. I was rooting for the Golden Boys. I am not feeling great for them right now. This is painful.
Shall we check in to see how the Nids and Snatch are doing?
I would love to see that. I'm not as invested. Yeah, I'm not as invested as much in either army, so I just want to see the carnage over there. Hopefully we have a table boss that can swap us.
Yeah, we'll just do a brief check and then come back to this game, because we do need to give all the games equal showing.
Oh yeah.
Although it looks like both games are going to be over quite quickly.
Yep. So we'll need to see what the people on the ground at Charity Hammer do in the meantime. I don't know if these people will play again, or if we're going to be stuck trying to fill time.
Bam.
I'm sure we'll find out. Yeah.
So we may have the first podcast of the Kiwi and the Scot.
Oh man, I can only imagine. Sorry, the sort of comments that Ennis will have to make directed at the two of us.
I'm sure there'll be some prime, nice, friendly, encouraging words.
Yeah. Okay. It looks like this game is getting called here. I think. Yeah. So those Voidsmen are just getting scooped up.
Oh, I don't see many warriors.
No. Well, so as we said, right, the Bellical will get to fight in the psychic phase. I would assume. I assume they have the Slaanesh fight in the psychic phase power. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Paul had that on every one of his keepers. And then Bellical will also be Slaanesh, so strike first, I believe. So yeah, after the warriors fail to kill him, Bellical gets to swing back 3 times before they get to do anything else about it. Which it's bad for warriors' health.
Seeing, based on the number of dice, the Demonette swinging into maybe the last warrior up at the top there, just trying to take and bring them down to their knees. And we've got a keeper into the gargoyles at the bottom of the screen, leaving the turners with only some brain bugs left. So
that is
everyone who was in the chat doubting and saying that this is the worst RTT 2.0. Oh baby.
Yeah.
So Nash comes out swinging.
This makes me so happy to see. Tyler, I love you. I've had some great games against you on Tabletop Simulator. Some brutal games either way. But man, I just seeing Paul put on a clinic in the wee hours of the morning for these guys with the demons. I'm sure Tyler will be kicking himself for the Death Leaper play. This feels like this sort of thing. Maybe he'll mention it on the next generation podcast he has.
Maybe. I'm going to call it now. Every single team at WTC needs to bring this Slaanesh list.
All right. You heard it here first. Team Scotland, or maybe just Team Scotland. Team Scotland is bringing Triple Keeper, Billy Core, and what we assume is Celeste.
Yes, the Forge. We have the Forge World Keeper in there is one of them, and then Shalaxi, I believe.
Is it Forge World? Because I know there's a named Keeper of Secrets. There's Celeste, and there's also Celeste, the Vengeful Allegiance. It's not that one. It's the Forge World one.
It's the Forge. It's. I know it's Forge World.
It is the named one, is it? I have a Forge World book here. I'm going to go look through.
Go for it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also definitely have a book.
Yeah, look, I've walked away from my screen to do this because I am good at things. So you tell us what's going on here, Chris. Well, I forget your name. Yeah.
So it looks like we're going to be going into maybe the Nid's turn. It's kind of all got a bit blurry for me. No, we're still in the Demon's turn. We have some morale checks taken for the gargoyles on the bottom. And we're going to have one lone gargoyle left on the bottom. And David, yes, we had Team Scotland making its debut at an 8-person team event here in the UK, where we had about half of Team Scotland playing for it and some friends to make up the numbers. And Team Scotland will return triumphant. Maybe the squads. So I think that's it for this next turn. We've done a morale phase. We're just going to be tallying up some points. And what can the Tyranids do here? Maybe some Rippers being spawned by the Parasite Mortrex would help out regain control of the top objective. And maybe you need to be bringing out some brain bugs to try and clear out the middle. There's only a handful of Demonettes there, so a smite and some questionable melee might get you there.
So the Parasite and honestly the Rippers could do some work into the Demonettes. I think they against toughness 3, only 5 up save models. That's the Rippers are probably still scary to that, but I don't see this going well for the bugs.
Ripper
overall.
Storms 4 attacks in melee at strength 3, and they've also got no, they don't have the pistol upgrade because it would just be base. So 4 attacks at strength 3.
Yep. Tyler pulling some tricks here though. So just he's regened. I believe it's D3+3 gargoyles. So that'll bring him. I think. I'm pretty confident that'll bring him to controlling that objective. So that'll help him score 8 for primary. I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. Certainly will do.
So a really cool command phase regen models trick to then score primary at the end of the command phase.
Yeah, you really want to kill the entire cargo unit these days.
Yeah, no, I've seen in previous games Tyler's used this. He's had a gargoyle unit down to 1 model, which he hid behind a crate against. This is in the battle for the winner of the best in tabletop open against Steve Trimble's Bugs, I believe. And he had 1 lone Pyrovore, 1 lone gargoyle hiding behind a crate in Steve's deployment zone, scoring behind enemy lines before regenning them up to a big old unit and going on a tear with them. So it's exactly the sort of cute, tricksy, janky nonsense that Tyler would love.
Yeah, and you can do weird things with it. So in WTC, we kind of cap you from regenerating models and stringing out with them too far out, so you can go like 1 inch coherency beyond where your original model is, so you can get like 1 person further forward. But in non-WTC events, you can just string out to your heart's content. So you can get a lot of extra distance on like a cargo unit, and I think it's also command phase ability, so you can do it for your primary scoring too.
Yeah, for sure. So just some wonderful gesturing by Tyler here. I don't know what he's doing. I believe
he's
there's
saying
somewhere
that this thing's going to go there, and that thing's going to go where?
Yeah, unless he's saying I'm going to move block these here, and then they're not going to go there. But yeah, I'm sure these guys' actions will soon speak for their words that we cannot hear.
Yeah, we did see that the Parasite Mortrex did wiggle his way towards Be'lakor, maybe looking to finish Be'lakor off, but I think it's a bit too little, too late.
Yeah, no, this... Maybe Tyler's going just for some pride points here to try bring down Be'lakor. I believe he didn't actually bring it down. Oh, he took Assassinate, which makes sense. So Be'lakor, I imagine this list is constructed with Be'lakor as a Supreme Commander, 2 patrols, so 10 Demonettes in each. Maybe there's a battalion in there and a patrol to get a few more Demonettes. And then, the rest being the HQs.
Yep.
Or maybe it would be a patrol battalion. Regardless, it's Yeah, so we've got at least 4 units of Demonettes, so it could be patrol battalion, could be 2 patrols. But boy, do I love it. Oh, we have a Trigon or a Morlock. I can't tell the difference from above, but that is some of the extra points that Tyler has. Is he going to have more warriors in here? Please tell me the warrior's coming out of here as well.
And now for my next trick.
Oh boy, Tyler, I love this list. It is. I don't think it's that good, but it's definitely funny.
Alex and I really don't get these lists in advance, so we're just as surprised as you are.
Yeah. It was a previous game where I was commenting with, I believe, John Quennell, where we saw Alex McDougall against it was somewhere around the Behemoth Bugs. I am forgetting there are several Bugs players at this event. And so Alex was wonderfully screening out his deployment zone, and so John and I were discussing theories on Schrodinger's pyropod, we called it. So the Tyranid drop pod equivalent filled with pyrovores. Something I'm sure you're familiar with, Chris, with Innes running it against you.
Yep.
Yeah, and whether or not it would appear, we were told partway through there is something in Deep Strike. We're going to be surprised by it. It was a Trigon or Trigon Prime, perhaps, and a brick of 9 warriors.
Lovely.
Yeah. So yeah, Deep Strike, of course. The old term for basically in reserve can appear 9 inches away.
I had a tournament player run a Moloch into me at one point, and I was like, "Okay, cool. I'll put this token down. The next turn it comes in and does mortal wounds if you're next to the token." So
it's
I walked
a turn delay. Oh no!
So I just walked away. I accidentally walked away from the token. But the big trick was that all the monsters were OBSEC. In that one, it was the custom high fleet, so it can appear with just outside of the 1 inch from your stuff if it's within 12 inches of the token. So the big trick is it runs up and steals and your backfield objective when you have the servitors there. So I just moved the servitors in to block the guy from getting onto the objective. I'm like, cool, you can come and kill me. But I was like, okay, cool. This now triggers. How many more wounds do I take? And we measured. We're like, you take none. You're 6.1 inches away from me. I was like, accidentally good.
Accidental success is the best kind of success.
Absolutely.
I do feel like Tyler might. I do wonder if he's taken the ignore penalties with how he will just so gladly sit on forests.
Well, these cargoes
through them.
Fly.
Oh, yeah. I remember just as you reminded me.
If you warn stream, I would just warn the stream now that Nara, who's still in her deep sleep, is currently yelping and barking in her sleep. So if you hear that, that's why you hear barking.
Alrighty.
The rabbits are still being chased.
I'm almost sad that I don't hear Nara. That dog is so cute. I especially
a wee audio clip for you.
Yeah, I especially appreciated when you posted a photo of yourself watching Charity Hammer with. Was it Nara on the couch with you on your lap?
Yep. Nara's up on the couch. She likes to cuddle up to me.
Yep. All right, so just waiting to see Tyler finishing off his turn here, and I'm looking forward to the keepers trying to clean up. Do we think Valakor is going to survive? I think that's the interesting bit here.
The Parasite, is it? They're not too killy, are they?
I wonder, can they inject it with some? It is a parasite of Mortrex. Maybe it can inject Valakor with something because he's a monster, not a vehicle. I wonder if that does it to deal some mortal wounds and just finish him off cheekily that way.
So you have to have a successful wound first of all.
Right. Okay.
And then then that unit suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to any normal damage and becomes affected with the parasites. At the start of your opponent's command phase, for each enemy unit affected with parasite, your opponent must roll 1d6. On the 1, 2, 3 being rolled, they suffer an additional d3 and is no longer affected. And on the 4, 5, 6, they suffer d3 wounds and is remained to be infected.
Right. Okay.
And if you suffer lots of mortal wounds, you get more rippers.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look up the what might be the Forge World Keeper of Secrets, because that might answer the question, but I believe it has just died.
Yes, I think we have seen whatever came in from reserve, or maybe some brain bug smiting.
I'm thinking it's going to be the brain bug smiting.
Yeah, those brain bugs do a lot of damage with smites. Yeah. So is it 4 Zoes and 1 Neurothrope down there, or is it 3 Zoes, Neurothrope, and then something else?
I'm picking it'll be something else. Maybe that's a Biovore? That feels like some Tyler tech that he would put in there. A single Biovore chilling in the backfield.
Yeah, just the one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have an action to spore mines, don't they?
That they do. Oh yeah. So yeah, no, I believe that will have been the Forge World Keeper of Secrets. I don't know if this has specific rules or not, but yeah.
So we have the Parasite charging in here, and Tara's trying to get outside of intervention range of the additional Keeper Secrets.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's just good play there. Just why get hit by more things when you don't have to?
Yeah, it's just not about that life.
And we have the Gargoyles charging backwards into the Demonettes.
Wait, go back. They say, I wonder if they moved up there to shoot the Demonettes on Paul-time objective and then make their way back to.
Yeah, they could have absolutely
left things.
They could have left it.
Yep. Yeah. So, do we think the Trigon makes a charge somewhere? Is it going to try roll a 9? That might be what we're looking at rolling now. Tyler's clearing the bike.
I think we're going
the dice
to be charging the middle objective here with that. But it looks like maybe the charge roll was made and failed.
Oh, no, I think this is the roll happening now, right?
No, that's more than the charge roll. This is Death Reaper. So, normally hits in 2s. Sorry, not Death Reaper, Parasite Mortites. Normally hits in 2s. There is a successful wound there which fails. Is that enough to kill him?
Is it only 1 damage? Does it do some mortals?
AP1. Does Be'lakor have armor of contempt? No, Be'lakor's got
I don't believe Be'lakor. Be'lakor doesn't have armor, my guy.
Yeah. So that should kill it? Question mark? .jpg?
I don't know. We're waiting to see. This might be a command point reroll for the save here. Is it a 4? Is it a 4? It's a 3. I think that's Be'lakor down. Oh, maybe it's discussing the damage done. It might be D3 damage or something.
No, the Parasite is
and then there was a
damage.
1. Well, look, I'm guessing here, okay? You are cheating with your rules in front of you.
I'm cheating by being quote unquote prepared.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Do we have a stream boss here as well, by the way? Just to quickly check in, give us a report back of what happened in the Custodes Thousand Suns match. It looked like just as we cut away, that match was getting called, but I'd love to hear us a little bit more detail on that front.
If a tech priest and a server skill could help us out, that'd be wonderful. Oh dear.
Lovely. Both armies have been tabled. We'll call it a draw. But yeah, no, final score.
83-63.
Solid. Yes, a solid primary for the Custodes. Not so great secondaries, but just all round a solid 83-point score for Zach when you factor in paint, and 63 for Custodes.
Yeah, Custodes looking to struggle a little bit on the secondary account there. I don't know what would have done that. Maybe they stranglehold because they were going first.
I think just all of them they would have had a rough time on banners. They might not have scored that great. They would have been pulled down. The grind them down, they might not have scored that many points on. I could imagine it just being an all-round rough time.
Yeah, they pretty much just got picked up at will from the Armiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Armiger's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, like effectively doubling the AP with the new book on those the autocannons going from AP1 to AP2 is in some things just it's brutal.
It looks like
Custodes. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just going to say Custodes without armor of contempt. AP2 is just the perfect value. It puts them on their invul from their 2-up armor without any wasted APA, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it looks like the Gargoyles down in the bottom left have had a rough time of it after getting back up to like a 6-7 bug unit. Have been cut back down to 2.
Yeah, well, so those demonettes would have hit back with the parasite going first. The demonettes would have hit back, striking first as Slaanesh before the gargoyles got to swing. So yeah, I guess Tyler just trying to min max what he can do with that unit there. I guess maybe landing a bit closer to the min side of things than he would like.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused because I thought Be'lakor was on 2 wounds remaining after the warrior combat. Maybe Be'lakor was able to be healed.
Maybe I thought he just only failed 1 save against the parasite, leaving on 1.
But the parasitic infection, after you do a successful wound to an enemy unit, that unit suffers 1 mortal wound in addition to all the extra damage.
Well, look, I don't know. Yeah, he probably healed then.
And I feel like Tyler, given he adores a parasite Mortrix, should know these things? Question mark?
Maybe. Unless he had Delightful Agonies. He maybe had a Fiona Pain and just rolled a 6 on one of the 2.
It is like 4 o'clock in the morning there. So we can forgive.
Fair. Look, I believe Be'lakor is alive and kicking on 1 HP in a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's living his best life.
He is. So are these Keepers of Secrets. They Do you think Paul just leaves those demonettes to finish off the gargoyles? I think he probably does, right? Has the Keeper go and just 2 Keepers have their way with a Trigon? Maybe one of them goes and hits the Trigon, the other one wanders over to see what the brain bugs are up to?
I think we have Be'lakor sit pretty, and stay where he is, probably move to the back of the objective. The demonettes rush forward into the middle to help out with that. The Keeper go and take care of the Trigon, and then the other Keeper go and start messing with brain bugs.
You know what, actually? I think Be'lakor goes to mess with brain bugs. He'll advance and charge over there, ignores invols, and does D3+3 against 4 wound zoanthropes with an invul and bad armor.
What's Be'lakor's move right now, assuming he's a bottom bracket?
No, he's got this. He roll a 6 for his advance.
Yeah.
You're the one with the books, my guy.
I definitely have quote-unquote books. He moves 6.
He moves 6, so he's going to go 12 with a 6-inch advance. He lives 3-inch pile-in from the rest of this combat, and he's got this.
And thankfully he flies, so forests care not.
Yeah, no, I believe in him. He's got this. Yeah.
I believe in the Neurothrope with its amazing combat, killing Be'lakor.
Yeah, Paul also believes in this Keeper's ability to then go and if Be'lakor doesn't make the charge, do the job. So yeah, he's leaving those demonettes to do the job. The champion 3 demonettes on the central objective. Man, that is just brutal. Yeah. And I'm kind of excited just to see these Keepers doing this much work.
Speaking of champions,
Chris, yeah.
Child's Play. What an amazing charity that we're raising money for.
Yeah, they really are champions.
They they make kids happy, and you gotta love that. What they do is they put toys and games and board games and they put fun incarnate into hospitals, and they have staff to support the tech side of things, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, and sick kids heal better. So yeah, they're just doing what they can to help kids entertained and get better as easily or enjoyably or quickly as possible. All of the above, maybe.
Yep. And you can win some awesome prizes.
Yeah. So for every $30 you donate at charityhammer.com, all of which goes to Child's Play for toys in children's hospitals or people to run them or domestic abuse shelters. Every dollar you donate will go to this great cause around the world. But what else does every $30 you donate do for you, Chris?
Every $30 gets you some sort of raffle ticket, I hear.
Yeah. So there's a raffle that's going on overtime at Charity Hammer. Your donation, the earlier you do it, the longer it'll go through this raffle. And so random times throughout the day and night and all of the streams, you will get a prize draw. And yeah, there are all sorts of things you can win. Boxes of Warhammer models, possibly fantasy models, or all different sorts. It could be the start of your new army.
Yeah.
Especially if you win the overall prize. Yeah.
And you also can win a massive prize as well. You can get a $1,200 voucher to Hammerhead Games, where you can get a whole new army.
Yeah. You could even get a whole new game system.
Yeah, you can get Sean Naden to paint you an army within reason.
Yep.
As in, aka, don't give him 700 grots.
No, I hear 699 is the limit. We could be wrong.
I hear he will grind grots up and then paint grots with grots if you do that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I might have heard it from you only, but minor details.
And if you are our legendary top donor, you will get a set of signed objective markers that you can see on the table right now, which are made by 3D6 Wargaming. So we're going to get everyone at Charlie Hammer to sign them, and you'll have the most unique set of markers in 40k.
Yep. The charityest of markers to play Warhammer with.
Oh, yeah. And who knows, you may be running into someone like John Lennon and slap them down on the table, and it's his own signature on there facing back at him.
Yeah.
Which I think is just the ultimate flex.
Alright, so we're seeing the first keeper.
Ultimate flexes, we have some charges.
Alright, Be'lakor's making this charge right. Boxcar charge! Be'lakor is making his charge.
Big Daddy Be'lakor charging in, let's go.
I am about this. Look, and that keeper is multi-charged, so Be'lakor is picking up the 3 Neurothropes. Zonethropes. And the keeper is secret. I believe he's going to get the Zonethrope. So,
I never doubted Shadow Daddy for 1 second.
Yeah,
he came in there. No, I'm going to leave that sentence there.
Yeah, Billy Core has got this. And then we're going to have the other keeper charging the Trigon. We've got some attacks going. The brain bugs have they've been made unalive. I
cannot believe the hammering that the Turners have taken this game.
I can, and to be honest, I'm about it. It's just something about the poor Slaanesh demons so frequently mocked, just demolishing these Tyranids. I don't know. I'm about it.
Yeah, like they finally taken out, like they finally snapped and turned the corner a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's in your going down. So we have 2 gargoyles and an unknown entity in the bottom there.
Yeah, look, so excessive violence pleases both Khorne and Slaanesh. Khorne because of the violence and Slaanesh because of excess, right? So just really it's the best way to go about it.
Oh yeah.
And it leads to death, and then afterwards decay, right? So Nurgle's on board. And
And when things die, it changes things. That's the interesting there.
Yeah.
There goes Trigon. But yes, there is one other entity that violence does please. Do you know who that might be?
One Anthony Vanilla Violence.
Yes, and I think he's running Quinn's at Charity Hammer. I don't think we had the pleasure of commentating one of his games, but I think he's in the top cut going forward into the TT.
Yeah, does he happen to be up early for a game? Because it must be getting to the 6 a.m. point in time at Charity Hammer, I believe, where people might start to be servicing for early games.
You're like 5 o'clock in the morning, right?
Almost 5 o'clock. Yeah, you guys are going to have to help fill time for an hour.
All right, Chris, we're going to fill some time. What are we going to do here? Maybe we can discuss.
Go get a book. I'm just going to read a book aloud on stream.
That'll get us copyright struck.
All right.
Like there's 3 white guys talking over the internet. This is technically already a podcast, so I think you're fine.
Yeah. Are you with us for this hour, Mitch? Are we just?
I'm here.
Is this a mini podcast or something?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So these games are getting wrapped up. Did you?
Yeah.
So we got the final scores for the Custodes match.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get the final scores here shortly from Paul.
Yeah, there's literally 0 bugs left on the table.
That's not true. There is one orange bug hiding behind the fire from John Lennon's Minister and Flamer.
No, that's not fire. That's hot sauce. Referring to the hot sauce challenge of previous Charity Hammer, which I know nothing about because I did not watch that Charity Hammer because I am very new to these circles.
Mitch, do you have an equivalent this year for the hot sauce challenge?
I advocated for it, but was shut down. Apparently, they wanted participants to be able to function later. Bullshit, but it's fine.
What?
Mitch,
so
I think
instead,
you run out to a gas station and get the gas station hot sauce. It'd be cheaper than the petrol.
Let's be clear. We have all the hot sauces from last year. We have the second hottest hot sauce in the world still here. Like, no one's consuming these because why would you do it except for a dare?
Okay, right. I have a challenge. I think the finalists of the GT before the game starts need to take a teaspoon of that.
Oh, a teaspoon's way too much. Oh, that could ruin someone's stomach. That's not safe.
Okay, a singular drop each.
That might be doable, but I'll have to spring it on Colin
for the kids. For the kids.
Need a lot of money. That's all I can think. Yeah. That's all I can think to say is we're going to need a lot of money.
Maybe we could set like a separate like donor goal. Like if you reach X amount, the finalists will do that.
Instead of a stretch goal, a burn goal.
A burn goal, yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just saying, if I was there and in the finals, I would agree to this.
Yeah. For the kids. Mitch, do we have an update on the actual donation total? Do you have access to that, or is that a
Colin? I don't have access to that this late in the night. I don't know what the exact number is, but I think we're probably at hovering right around 12,000 right now. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Sindri Tepek over YouTube says, "F them, do the challenge." So there you go. We have one voice.
Yeah.
Like if you all just donate enough, it will happen. I think the movement of money.
Through money,
to
all
this great cause.
Self-inflicted bodily harm is possible.
Yeah. Do you know which stream Adam is commenting on? It says Cougar AU on Twitch. I don't. We don't have an Adam commenting right now.
If you're talking about Adam Camilleri, then I believe he. Oh man, I'm blanking. He will be commentating later. I can work it out. I know. In
Adam is
about a day, I'm commentating with Adam. Oh, we have a handshake and a final score, so that might be going up soon.
Excellent.
I can try work out when Adam's going to commentate next.
I am looking at the schedule, and I can tell you.
All right, well, why don't you do that?
Adam Camilleri is commentating the 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. Sunday, 26th of June, Pacific Standard Time slot. And you, Alex Town, is joining him for the 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. slot. And currently Adam's all alone, so maybe I'll get up early on Sunday. You know, if my RTT timings allow.
For sure.
And invade the Discord chat. Because commentating is much, much better when you have a person to bounce off of.
Absolutely.
It also helps cover when you try and munch on a snack. So bear with.
Or take your dog out to pee so that she doesn't pee on the carpet.
Yeah, these all seem like reasons.
Speaking of, she's currently curled up in her bed in a little bowl.
So yeah.
So is it now getting light over there, or is it still pretty dark?
Oh no, almost. Like I mean, it's like early morning. You headlights or anything?
No, wonderful.
Oh man. Wow, so look at that score from Paul. So he's dropped 3 points on I wonder if that's just he's dropped 3 points on grind them down. He's missed one grind them down, and that's it.
Yeah, maybe he could have left the gargoyles alive and just got grind them down in the last turn.